Now we are. I took notes though.
So you know what? I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to increase the size of this print because it's teeny weeny 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 weeny. Let's see if this is okay. Okay, now I'll reshare it. Okay, so I just emailed you these two documents. So this is a summary of the variance between what we are paying right now. So let me just go to, I think it's the document up above. Okay, so these were the options that our agents USI came up with. The current premium that we're paying is $729. For renewal, it will be 15%, which is what we're trying to get away from. There is a couple of different options here, but the best option that we're considering is the state plan. So if you see that overall, there's a decrease of approximately 11.6% on what we're currently paying. So there's a couple of built in, et cetera, et cetera. There's no option for HSA with this, and we do offer both plans currently. This is purely a PPO plan, but it will be across the board. Everybody in the town, everybody on the Board of Ed would be on the same plan, and the savings are over here on the right hand side. So as it stands at the moment with our current enrollment, the last box here, the 643,883, is what we're likely to be paying next year with the state plan. The reason why Amy and I wanted to bring it to your attention is, let me just scroll back up to the first page, second page. The reason why we wanted to bring it to your attention is we engaged into this consortium CT chip with the goal of reducing our premiums. As you know, that was 3 years ago. It was a 2-year deal. There would be a penalty for us to come out of that. Currently, that penalty is built into what the revised premium would be, and even with the penalty, there would still be approximately $90,000 to $100,000 worth of savings on the
Wow.
premium. So to me, it's a no-brainer. You know, we're going to tag team with the school regardless because they're the majority pool of this. So, and as you guys know, if we went out on our own, we'd be up the creek. It just wouldn't be anyway efficient for us to be out on our own. We'd end up with crazy different rates, and you know the state plan. Anyway, the long and short of it is, this is the best option for us. It's a good plan. The copays are reasonable. The deductibles are very low, and we would like to get the board of selectmen on board with terminating our membership of CT Chip. So that's what we'd like you guys to vote on today. As I say, at the moment, we would end up having to pay a penalty, and that is built into what we would be paying as the renewal annual premium of 636 here.
That's our penalty, or is that included with the school, that penalty
No,
number?
this is just our portion of the penalty. So basically, how we break it down is, um, so our fees with the agency currently, we pay approximately $35,000 to USI each year. Um, how Bob and I have done it in the past is based on the amount of eligible employees we have and eligible employees that they have. It's pretty much a 75-25 split. So I'm sorry, 80-20 split. So the penalty that would be incurred, we would be covering 20, they would be covering 80.
And the fee, Orla, that was 130 some odd thousand, correct?
Yikes.
If I
Let's
remember
see if I have
correctly.
it in front of me.
And
Lots of documents here.
there is a strong likelihood that the CT chip uh, disperses altogether, that they yeah. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Basically, we would
Dissolve. They
it
dissolve,
may
thank you.
dissolve.
They
Yes.
dissolve altogether.
Yes.
It looks pretty strongly like that's going to happen, which means we would not pay the penalty, is the hope. Let's hope that it happens.
That's correct.
Because when Thompson pulled out of the plan, out of CT CHIP, with Thompson pulling out, their rates were going to increase upwards of 23%.
Correct. So you're
So,
right about the 130, Amy. I just checked
okay.
the document here in front of me. So basically, we'll pay 20% of that, and it is already built into that total annual renewal premium.
And I will say that all of the unions at the school and our union here all seem very much in favor of the state plan. It does look like a remarkable plan. Additionally, the state plan sees an average increase of around 3%. The highest they've ever seen in any given year is 8%. So there's a lot of stability with joining on with the state plan.
How does the school, has the school board looked at this as well? And their unions, you said?
If they haven't yet, they were supposed to. I thought it was going to be on their agenda last night. Their unions have looked at it. Their unions, all of them are in favor of the
Are
state.
in favor of it, okay. Then it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
And I guess, like Orla said, we're just looking for the board to approve us leaving CT CHIP.
Okay, two questions. This does away with the HSA?
Correct.
Okay,
It's
and
only an option.
and the people that are under HSA have no problem with it?
Well, their union was involved in the conversations, and it would not eliminate their existing funds. They just would they would no longer be able to contribute any more money to the fund.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a 3-year commitment to the state?
Correct.
So,
No, I'll make a motion to go with the state plan. It's the savings is appropriate to meet our needs.
and to leave CT CHIP.
And
Sure.
to terminate our membership of CT
Yeah.
CHIP.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to terminate our relationship with CT CHIP and entertain the state plan. Motion made by Ken, seconded by Suzanne, all in favor of this motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, and that motion passes. All right. And with that, we can move on to budget reviews. I kind of thought, I don't know how you, Suzanne and Ken feel. I kind of thought we'd just start at the front of the book, maybe, and work our way to the back, unless you have a different plan. I'm flexible.
I did not print the whole book.
I'd have to reprint it as well.
And I didn't realize that's where we were going. I was looking only at the agenda. If I have the other copies in my car that Orla made, so I can easily go get it.
Do you want to just, then do you have the daily budget workshops that we did?
That's what I'm saying. It's in the car. I just have to run and get it.
I mean, we've got what Orla sent us today.
Yes,
Right.
I just printed that.
Oh, okay.
Like the
That
build-
kind of gets us started, and then she did, Orla, you sent a second email, right?
She sent some updates, yeah.
Yeah. How did you arrange? It looks like, Orla, what you sent is basically the order of the book, correct? Maybe it's not. Whatever Orla sent, we can just start going through those. and
Sorry,
talk.
I couldn't find my mute button. No, I sent the first half of the budget last night and the second half of the budget today.
Okay, that's what I thought, but it's all in order of
Okay,
the way the budget.
so let me
It
just
is, yes, it's in order.
Okay.
Is the second half what you just sent us
Yes,
and the first half?
I sent last night.
So the one thing, what did you just send it? Oh, the USI. Okay, okay. That's not medical plan. That was medical stuff that you just sent. But did we go over all of the budget parts? The income and all? Did we do that in the
No,
very
we have not
beginning?
done the income. This is just expenses at this
Just
stage.
expenses, just the department expenses.
When are we gonna do the income?
When I get around to doing the sheets, which will be before Thursday.
Okay.
Well, what are your thoughts, Suzanne?
Oh, if there's any differences from last year with the income, it would be good to know before we go through and start revising budgets or that kind of goes
Well,
hand
I
in
know
hand.
the state is level funding.
These are expenditures. What we have coming in is relevant, but it doesn't affect what we need to do for expenditures. I
If
mean,
we-
that's what we were
if
what we
we-
were dealing with.
if we feel like some type of income is relative to making a decision on a certain department, we can always revisit that.
No, I guess it's not. I just like to see the big picture before I start to,
But
Yes. but that's okay.
that's a moving target till the
You're right. You're
we
right.
come with our best guess what the state is going to do, and we don't have a lot of control. Right now, they're saying it's level funding, and we hope that it stays that way. Our expenditures are going up based on, the need of any of the departments. Probably the one that's most volatile is going to be your road money and, and education funding coming in. But that doesn't change, even in education, it doesn't change your expenditures. You've got to meet a certain amount of money to provide the services. Saying, the only thing we can make an adjustment on would be if they really cut, the stuff for paving. And, that would have to be, changed based on, what we're trying to expend.
So
So-
where do you want to start?
Well, I would start with the first, the sheets that Orla sent us over last night, which
Which is-
began with Board of Finance.
Okay, so.
I think most of them are going to be pretty straightforward. The question is going to be coming, I don't know when you both wish to deal with it, that although in the current coming union contract, there's 0% increase, last year they all did get 2%. And we're going to have to decide, are we going to at least give that to some of the non-union Ks? I don't know if you want to broach that now or wait until we get the bigger picture.
I think if we all agree on the expenditures, we can tackle the
So the payroll after.
payroll after.
Hey, Orla, I have Board of Finances first. That you sent us over last night. Oh, you're just gonna scroll up? Is it or, wait. I see what
Okay.
you did.
So Board of Finance is first.
Okay, oh, there
um,
it is. Okay,
Yeah, so there's not a lot of change. I haven't run it by Aaron, but usually it's secretary is the same until you guys decide otherwise. I put in 29,000, which is what we're going to currently pay for this fiscal year's audit. So that's my estimate. And the rest I left at is I will be having Aaron review it. Usually I sent it to him prior to this meeting, but I never got around to it. So if there's any changes to that, I will let you guys know before you finalize it.
so this was one we didn't go over.
No,
Mm-mm.
But the 29,000, that 4,000 increase is a fixed cost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
With the vendor, so there's no way around that.
right.
now we will be going out to bid on the audit again as soon as Marshall and Sean file the report on Thursday or Friday. So expect an RFP again, but you
Yeah.
know what? I've been very happy dealing with them this year. So I hope they do bid again for the next contract.
They were very nice to work with. I mean, you worked
They
with
were
them a
great
lot
to
more, but the interaction I had with them was fantastic. So,
Just the little things I would, it was great. It was
Yeah.
a pleasure. So
Okay,
they're in the process of putting the report today. So I'm hoping a draft by the end of the day. So fingers crossed.
Suzanne or Ken, any thoughts on this? Do you want to just move on from this?
Yep,
I mean, this looks fine to me.
me
Move
too.
on.
Okay,
Okay.
next one is Board of Selectmen. A couple of things I did update was these numbers from NECOG. We'd put estimates in because the price per capita hadn't changed from
Right.
95 cents and now it's up to 110. So we got a little bit of a change here. So so what I see is an increase on the estimate. Our estimate is 13,308 for the current year, and we're going to go up to 17, which is going to be an increase of 1392 on the current year's budget. And that's
Wait.
NECOG.
Oh, for NECOG.
If you look here, this is where we have a
Mhm.
difference.
Right.
The rest of them are the same. And just so you know, Amy had brought up, I believe at the last meeting when we discussed this department, that CCM gave 50% of the current year's dues back in a refund check. So we budgeted 59.57. They haven't increased their fees in forever, but they did return us with a check of half of that. So the estimate for fiscal 21 is less than budget because of that reduction of almost $3,000. But they haven't talked about giving it back to us for next year, so we do have to budget the full amount.
I mean, this budget's pretty straightforward to me.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Next
Okay.
one is Amy's budget. So I did make a little bit of change. We talked about the possible change happening with the second executive assistant here. So Amy, what I did was I took out the projected salary for that position. So down here, you'll see this is where that position is here currently and the estimate for this year, and I left it blank for next year.
Okay. I did speak to Marie today. I think
Okay.
she's in the meeting. And she has concerns about losing the second assistant, but that all hinges on hiring a human resources director. I spoke with Brooklyn today because Brooklyn has one human resources director, and I know Brooklyn's a little smaller than us. But that person works 4 days at the school side, 1 day at the town side, handles everything that has to do with labor. She is flexible. She sometimes spends a little more time on the town side, but overall, she ebbs and flows where she's needed, which means she could visit other sites, other town offices as necessary. So all of this hinges on that. I know Marie, and I don't know if Marie wants to speak. I'm certainly agreeable with that. My thought would be to have extra time potentially put in to cover the office as necessary. The way this is planned out, Kelly would move and be permanently with the Public Works Garage at 24 hours. So that would give us roughly 8 hours to work with anyways. And Marie thought that possibly we could have someone at maybe a lower pay scale for a few more hours, staying under the guidelines for health insurance, so more like a part-time position potentially. And I'm just,
So,
Renee has her hand up, but I'm gonna let the selectmen speak first.
so are you suggesting that you would add a part-time or a per diem or a
I'm just saying,
temporary? Or you're
that's what Marie had requested. I think it was, I don't have my notes in front of me. I don't have the email in front of me. I think it was 19 hours potentially or less at a lower salary. I would prefer, if we are going to hire an HR person, that I would suggest that Marie do the work of both those positions. And we'll have some extra time allotted should we need some extra help. And bring Kelly back on occasion if there's work that's being backlogged. But with the HR duties being.
So I guess I would have to see the job description, but would that be what we would do? Or would you just, you're proposing the positions and then,
What I'm proposing is a human resources director that would take HR completely out of this office. Additionally, I would be moving a staff member that would take calls at the highway garage. So calls that come in regarding the transfer station, regarding roads not being plowed,
Right.
regarding road work or complaints about trees would all go directly to the highway garage. So there would be a major amount of work that would be taken out of this office.
Okay.
And that's
So
my
that's
intention.
where I'm confused with why would we hire another person? Because you are hiring an HR person.
Correct.
So that's why I was a little bit confused. Okay.
I'm
That
only
makes
sharing
sense.
it because Marie had brought it to my attention
Okay.
and I want the input of the board.
My opinion is if you're hiring an HR person, you're taking it out of the selectman's office, that's a huge amount of responsibility right there. That comes out, then Kelly moves over and it makes sense the way you're doing it. I'm not in favor of hiring another person.
Right. Additionally, and I don't know if this is, when I want to go to Renee, I think it might have been Renee that suggested it, that currently all the phone calls come into this office. Renee, did you suggest that yesterday?
No,
Was that you or was that someone else?
no, I wasn't on yesterday.
Oh, no, it was just suggested to, I thought it was suggested in this office. I wasn't here at the time. That we could move the phone system to a pick your department.
I did suggest that maybe not recently, but a while ago, because we're all deferring phone calls, so
Right.
we're all answering phone calls and we're transferring between between this office and the selectman's office. It's
Right.
like we're fielding calls, and I know people like to get a person. I'm just not so sure that it's the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah, I like automated systems, but I know some people hate them. And we might still get calls that are in the wrong department because there are people that call and say, I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to.
Right.
We get that a lot. But I would like to see that automated system where people could choose to go to the tax office or choose to go to the assessor. Or if they're uncertain, choose the operator and then it could come here. So that could bring the number of phone calls down too. So I just believe there's ways to make this office more efficient.
Are you able to do that with the current phone system?
Oh yeah, I believe so. You should be able to. But Renee, what else did you have to say? Because your hand was up
Well,
about something.
I'm just concerned because I live through some tumultuous times here with HR, and we just got it under control. Back in 2015, and then Marie coming on. There was so many things that we were not doing that we should have been doing, state statute-wise, that we're required to do for personnel.
Mhm.
And I just thought we had gotten that all under control. And I'm not saying you're not going to get a competent person that would be able to handle both. I just am nervous that we lose that here. And the other thing is, I'm a little worried about coverage for the selectman's office, which is not my business. But if you don't have another person, whether she's sick, she's got vacation, she's working with a customer, in normal times, the selectman is more out in the field where there's meetings off site. I know this has been different, Amy, because you've been here in the office, and you can cover too. But going back, there'll be those meetings in Hartford or NECOG or wherever you have to be out in the community. So I worry about reducing. I mean, we did that. We went through that with the Linky situation. We played around with that whole office again. And I have to say, both Kelly and Marie are an asset to this building. And my gut reaction, and it might be wrong, Kelly is super, super capable as well. I think she's going to be twiddling her thumbs at the garage. Mm-hmm. She's doing 10 or 12 hours now for him. I get the whole fielding the phone calls thing, but if she's working 10 to 12 hours out of her 32, what is she going to do with 24? And that's, again, just throwing that out as a concern. It's your decision, obviously.
No, I definitely appreciate your
All right.
concerns. There were some issues at the garage that were brought up. additional things that are OSHA standards. Whether it's recording, safety training, et cetera, things that are missing and lacking there.
Do
And
we
Kelly
have,
has certainly stepped up and said that she would fill in as needed here. And that's where the extra hours potentially, in my mind, we need extra hours for those situations to cover those types of situations. But we also have Scott as a floater. And I know he's come in and sat in the office on occasion. Obviously during tax season, that's tougher. But outside of tax season, some of his hours are allocated to hop from office to office. So,
okay, a few points. Number one, sending Kelly over to the highway garage permanently is going to put another person into the union. Currently, she's not part of the union.
Mhm.
So that increases our costs and increases our wages as well.
But do you not agree? You used to be in a union. Do you not agree in paying people a fair wage?
I agree. This was a new position that was created. I'm not, when you add somebody to the union, your costs change.
Mhm.
Okay.
Your control of costs change, because then it's up to union negotiations.
It doesn't matter. Your costs change. The amount of work that is in that office is substantial. It moves in a
I
curve.
don't see it the way you do, Ken. I've been in a position just like this.
Yeah,
Wait,
but this
wait.
this has been totally different with the pandemic. When for the 4 years that I was there, numerous meetings in Hartford, numerous meetings at CCM, going to cost, NECOG, being on the board of directors at NECOG, being out in the field. We were constantly busy looking at things. So if you're in the office, yeah, you can answer the phone. I did that all the time.
I hardly ever answer the phone. So just saying.
But again,
But can I say something?
Yes, please.
Technology has changed how we attend a meeting.
Right. That
And
might
in the-
never
And in
change.
the past, I know you had to go to a lot of meetings, but it's changed how we attend a meeting now.
it is, and this is still developing,
It is.
without a doubt.
But I think that we are going to see moving forward when we start to open up that there will be hybrid meetings, just like we're going to have tomorrow, that people can attend either by Zoom or in person. And it's going to change being out of the office dramatically.
It
I'm just
will and it
speculating.
won't. It will and it won't. There's nothing like being, at a CCM meeting or at a cost meeting or a meeting with the governor and being able to one-on-one with people. Those things have to remain because it just makes it so much easier to get your points across and have a good conversation. I mean, we stumble over each other on some of these meetings, where we're walking over. Never mind if you go to CCM and you've got 50, 60 people there, or you're at the Capitol for a meeting, with a group. It just, or a one-on-one with the governor like we've done in the past. Kelly does a certain amount of work for Rich. There may be a certain, increasing a few more hours where maybe she's got to do some filing there, but she can always leave this office and go there. It gives that extra person in the office. It's such a living, breathing animal in the selectman's office that everything changes on a dime. You get a snowstorm, you get the potholes popping up, you get somebody that's out mowing and, calls come in. Between Marie and Kelly, they be constantly on the phone, putting out different fires and doing things. Technology, you call it the highway garage. If they don't pick up in a couple of rings, you roll it over to the selectman's office where we can pick it up and deal with it. I can see, and you're saying that, Rich, for some of the things of when they went through the OSHA. I'd love to see that OSHA report to see where we're behind, because whatever Kelly has been giving or Marie has been given to do from the highway garage, it has been done. It moves along without a problem. And to turn around and hire another person on top of it to fill in, you're increasing your costs further. You've got a great tandem of two people working together. You know, Maria's got to go on vacation. Somebody's got to cover for her when
And
she's
Kelly
out.
said she would cover for
And
her.
I think I just
But
read
you're
Scott
looking at
covers,
40
right?
hours. You're not looking at 8 hours in a week. You're looking at 40 hours of, of being covered. And by being in that office, you know what's going on. And that's the continuity that they have between the two of them. When one zigs, the other one can zag, and they cover each other and complement each other very well. And it makes the job a lot easier.
So Renee, I remember when the office was a mess with the HR situation. And we had to, as the Board of Finance, had to appropriate funds for some temporary help. Do you remember at that time, were there two people in the office, and was it an additional temporary person or hours?
I
Does
don't
that
know
ring a
the-
bell?
I don't remember the specifics about
That-
that. I do
That,
know back in the day when I was first here, there was 3 people, full-time people in that office.
yeah.
And
I don't remember that, but I remember we allocated money.
eventually went down to 1.5. And I have to just say personally, I think the situation you got now is close to the best that we've had, except when we had the full-time. I mean, everything was a little configured a little different back then anyway, but I just think that we may lose all the stuff that we've gained with personnel for sure. I don't know. I would caution it. That's all. And so we're going to pay HR person, which is a new position that we're probably going to split with the school. So that means a benefit package. Kelly's still going to get her benefit package, and Marie's going to get the benefit package. So you are increasing costs by doing this substantially. And I think at the town hall, we're losing service, and it's going all to one department, which I know is a big department. Rich has got a big department, but I just have concerns about that. That's all. And whether they're warranted, I don't know, but I just see something running really, from my standpoint, and I'm not in your office, Amy, so you may see other things that I don't know, right? But from an employee who has seen the gamut here, these girls are the best in a long time that we've had in that office. And again, I think they complement each other.
I think I'm looking at it from a position standpoint, and I think I'm just not in the office. So I take a totally different view of it maybe, but efficiency wise, hiring an HR person to do the town, and I'm assuming that's all town employees, including the library, is in a very effective way to get things done, because that's all that person's going to focus on. There won't be the distractions of everything else that goes on in the selectman's office. And that will be that's it. I think that's a good idea. I mean, you look at it from a company that has 100 employees, they have one HR person.
But it will cost more money if you're looking at the financial side of things, right? We are agreeing on that. I haven't heard who's paying for what is for this new person, but I'm assuming it's going to be an increase in cost and a loss of service to this building and your residents.
I don't think you're going to lose service.
Because if you have a
I think that if this is done correctly, you're not going to actually lose service. You're going to shift service around, and you're going to take some work off from one person and add it to an HR person. And from what I'm hearing from Amy, that the town garage is in need of additional hours as an executive assistant.
And that could be true.
So if that is the case, then the need is there, then we are going to increase the cost, but that sounds like it needs to happen.
Well, it took 2.5 people to get caught up to where we were.
To get caught up, we're caught up.
Yeah, when 4 years ago, when I came on, there was a complete turnover in the selectman's office, between executive and the outgoing. That was operating at just one person due to circumstances for a couple of years. filing, going through the files, getting the building back into shape. It took one person. We were working, Dottie was in
No,
for
I'm just reading too.
19 hours a week and then some. She could work so much based on her retirement.
Right.
There for a year and a half just to get caught up. And now it's up to us to, to build on what was there. And both of them are extremely busy doing everything that comes in the building. I'm not even sure how we're doing with keeping up. I'm sure they give it their best effort with, with filing and things, but there are things that will suffer as more work comes through the building. There's a need of keeping, this tandem together. I would like to see what is that we're not doing at the highway garage and see if it's just a couple of minor things, then, we just pick those things up and Kelly does them. But that's got to be delegated over. And maybe she needs to spend a few hours to go over to, Rich's office and, file some things there. We never had the building renovated enough in the office. They're finally getting that, Rich just did that office. Now he's going to do the other one. Well, we're going to have a chance of, having the place for Kelly to spend 1 or 2 hours there to get caught up on some filing. That's all very workable. But, having Scott come down or anybody else, to work in that office that doesn't know what's going on in that office, when that person is on vacation coming back, for 1 week, they may be 2 or 3 weeks behind because of the stuff that just piles up because they're just answering the phone and doing bare necessities to keep that office going for the week. We need that tandem to stay there. It's just running too well with all of the requirements and everything that keep coming down out of Hartford. It's never going to lighten up. And, just pistol permits alone is ridiculous, when they come through. And that's not going to lighten up anytime soon, especially with the Second Amendment and, what's going out there politically. People are, doing more and more, and they all take time to do this stuff.
So there may be some speed bumps along the way. And it may not be perfect in the beginning, but I think when you get, I think what Amy's saying and proposing makes sense to me. I would like to see a little more of a job description. That might, be beneficial. So maybe we should sit on this particular budget for now.
You're talking
So we're
about,
not,
I'm sorry, Suzanne, to interrupt. You're talking about a budget description, a job description for highway garage?
no, for all 3 positions. I mean, obviously we kind of know what HR does and what would be teased out of that, taken
Right.
off this. But I was thinking more of the selectman's office as well as the highway garage.
And I know Marie has her hand up and I'd like to give her time to share her thoughts.
Marie, you're muted.
I'm asking her to unmute.
Mute.
Did I?
Okay,
You're
can you hear me
unmuted.
now? Am I unmuted? Okay. I strongly believe we need a second person in that office. I understand that you want to move Kelly, and I will hate to lose Kelly, but there's got to be somebody else brought in. There's too much that goes on in a day that you have no control over, so that other work doesn't get done. I come in on a Monday morning thinking, okay, the XYZ is getting done, and you're getting phone calls about everything. And you have people from other departments that need information. And there are projects that you're supposed to be working on that now you're not going to be able to get to. And it turns around and it's 4 o'clock and you haven't accomplished anything that was on the list. And I think having Kelly to take some of that day-to-day stuff, she's answering the phone, she's making copies, she's doing filing, allows me to have the time to do some of the bigger projects. And without her, I have no problem answering the phone and doing copies and filing. That's part of my job, but I'm concerned about what's not going to get done because I'm now doing that. And HR, I did send over a summary to Amy of just the basics of HR of what I do and wanting to know for certain, is an HR person going to do that or is actually going to stay with me? Because there's a lot of stuff that's detailed. Are they going to, when they file the workers' comp claim, are they going to make the appointments with the doctors? Are they going to do the follow-up with the insurance company? You know, how much is this person actually going to do of what has to actually happen? So with not knowing what's leaving and plus not having 20 hours from Kelly and Amy having additional responsibilities that she'd like to give me, I don't think we can do it with just me. I just don't. So I request somebody at those hours. It's at a lower pay scale. They won't be getting benefits, but it'll be somebody consistent that can be in the office that as Ken was saying, that will know what's going on, so that if I do have to be in a meeting with HD Seeger, that there's somebody there and that it's not, yeah, and that there's somebody there and I don't have to be concerned about who's not getting help at the office because I have to be in a meeting for an hour. So that's how I'm looking at it. I think it's critical that we don't go backwards as far as this office, because over the years we found that it is more than one person job, and I'd like to have it stay that way.
You know, maybe the answer to this is that the person that you hire just goes to the highway garage and works 3 hours.
But that's defeating the purpose of hiring an HR person. Or you're saying, I'm confused by what you're saying, Ken.
Well, no, you're talking about hiring additional help to keep the selectman's office working. You know, maybe we shift, you know, we hire a part-time person to work at the highway garage where that's all they go is right there and do whatever Rich needs. And we keep Kelly right where she is.
I thought we were talking about hiring an HR person, and then the discussion about the additional was just, it's not in the budget now, right? I'm just looking.
It's not in the budget. I still would like,
right.
I still need to see how the costs are going to be shared. You know, with the school, what they will and won't do, you know, for you know, with our people. There's so much, you know, with the employees, you know, whether it's in the building or, you know, over at the highway garage, that you know, the transfers. There's just so many things in the HR that is looked at. You know, and both contracts between the two offices are different. Your contract, everything is so different. You know, just with the you know, going over payroll, accrual time, vacation time. You know, we went round and round for a year just on you know, that they haven't updated what their balances were on vacation, sick leave, and PL time. And you know, there's so much involved in that.
Amy, does the school have an HR person now?
No.
And who does their HR now? Because HR can save you money too.
Melinda does a little bit, Danielle does a little bit. I think Rachel might have been doing a little bit. Everybody had their hand in it. I will say that in talking to a couple HR directors from various towns and going over the list that Marie had sent to me today, the majority of the things on this list are things that they do and they handle. The only thing that wasn't was the Safety and Health Committee, which is a committee, correct me if I'm wrong, that's actually filled with people here in the town hall that
It's a makeup of the town employees.
Right.
Which was brought to us by HG Seeger. That was one of the things that we needed to do in order to stay OSHA compliant.
Yeah, and certainly the basic insurance claims with HG Seeger would still fall into this office. One of the things, and I'll send you guys the list that Marie had sent to me, was one of the items was fire department tax rebates. If we are lucky enough to pass at the next town meeting, not tomorrow's, but the next one, changing it to an assessment reduction, all of those rebates would go directly to Paul. And again, another efficiency where he would make the adjustments and assessments, send it over to Rainey. So one more thing that potentially will get off the plate of the person sitting in this office. I only want to make things streamlined. As far as someone who's been in an office environment, several, and run my own business, I can look at things as an outsider and see inefficiencies. One of the bigger inefficiencies is the handling of the accruals. There's too much paper that goes on in this town hall. We do paper POs still. Everybody writes a vacation request, hands it in. Then it gets tracked on a spreadsheet, and then it goes on to the pay stub, and nothing ever matches. And so much time is wasted trying to get the accruals straight. And when you have someone that can be focused on just HR or just payroll, and if we can get a decent system in place, those types of things, there'll be efficiency that will be added to the town. But that's, again, yes, I wasn't here before. I wasn't here when it was a nightmare, but I can look as the outsider looking in and say, I see some inefficiencies. So,
I agree. If a new payroll system would help with accruals, that will take a lot off of whoever's plate it's on. But it works. It's not always wrong. It used to be always wrong until we started tracking it the way we do. And that's the only way we can, so that people trust that what they're getting is correct. And I'd be happy to walk you through it. Yes, there are 4 different pieces to this moving puzzle of accruals. But until we get a system that can handle it, that's the way it has to be done. So I applaud looking for something new, absolutely. But I still feel strongly we do need at least a 10-hour person, if not 15 hours in our office. I do.
So
A minimum.
let's put this one to rest right now, because we don't need to change anything, and move to the next one so we can all kind of think about it and digest it and maybe get more information.
But we definitely need more information about what the HR is going to do.
right.
And what they're going to take on and not take on, and what our cost sharing is going to be.
Yep.
Amy, can I
absolutely.
just make a quick comment before
Sure.
we move out of this? A couple of points. Marie and Kelly are a fantastic team, and we are very lucky to have both of them in your office. It will be a shame if they end up getting split, because they work so very well together. Um, the answering the phones, I have a concern with regards to that, and it's probably been documented by a number of different people in this conversation. But um, the office is open from 4 until 4 for 3 days a week, and 6 on Thursdays. And that means that Marie will be practically by herself most afternoons trying to answer phones, because I know you typically leave at about 2, Amy. And
Mhm.
I know you would continue to help answering the phones, but if you're in a Zoom meeting or a face-to-face meeting, Marie's by herself. If she's in a meeting, face-to-face or Zoom, there's nobody answering the phones. We do have a backup with Scott, but Marie is right, and I think Renee said the same thing. In reality, he can only answer the phones. There's so much other stuff that he's not going to know about unless he's there every single day of the week, or at least a number of days in the week. And I think when you mentioned, Amy, that you typically don't answer the phones, it's probably because Kelly and Marie are there answering the phones. But I know even when Ken was there, when there was occasions where there was only one person there, he would be picking up the phones just as much as you would be picking up the phones. It's definitely been different for the last year, and it's hard to know what we're going to go back to when all this pandemic is over, and we don't really know. But I think, to me, Marie is the one who's losing out in this change. That's my thought.
And I really must reiterate that we've discussed the fact that the calls that come in, that a good portion of them are about highway garage items, transfer station items, and possibly instituting a choose your department, press 1 type of system will help alleviate the number of phone calls that come to this office.
Yeah, I
It
think that
will,
I would agree there. I definitely would agree with you, Amy. I think it will. But one of the things I can say, and maybe both of you would even agree with this, people are creatures of habit. And there's a lot of people in this town and every other town that is in the surrounding area and everywhere who will want to first go to the first selectman to get their question answered. And they're going to, even though they may have an option to press highway, they're going to press 1 for first selectman. That's what I see happening.
Do you
They
have
have and they
voicemail?
will.
Do you have voicemail?
We do.
Because I mean, a lot of times I don't get a phone call on my work phone, or I'm in a meeting or something, and I just make sure I return the call to follow up on it.
There's one, if I could interrupt, there's only one voicemail for the office. So if nobody is there, it goes into that one. If somebody calls me and wants to leave a message for Amy, they can't get into her voicemail. There's only one that Kelly or I pick up in the morning. We pick up the calls to hand out when we get there in the morning.
And maybe that's something that,
Maybe that needs to be reprogrammed.
there's nothing to say that a first selectman can't open her own mail or answer the telephone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's,
phone
let's-
system, you could probably make that change.
Is there, so we know we're gonna table this until we
Yeah.
get more information. I've messaged Melinda. I just asked her, let's meet ASAP to get numbers on paper for the human resources and add it to our budget. That'll require probably Bob and Orla sitting with us and working something out. And that way we can make informed decisions,
and I would love to hear how Melinda feels this would work too,
right?
if she'd ever be able, available to attend.
Well, it's going to work for her because she's got multiple people doing it now.
I'd like to hear how
It's
she
for her
sees it.
advantage.
I would like to hear how she sees it working. Not whether it's going to work for her, how she sees it working. Do you know what I mean?
Right, so Renee had posted in the chat, you better consider putting funds into a new phone system if you want to do a menu. Ours probably doesn't do that. Marie would probably know better. But I will say that because our voice over phone, voice over internet phone, whatever it's called, the VoIP system, that system that we've had with Nextiva, I believe the contract is up. The school is actually working on a project for a new VoIP system at the school. We're hoping, they're talking to that system provider. They're doing the work over the summer. We're hoping that we might be able to piggyback on with them. And the truth is there might be potential savings. So on top of finding savings on our internet provider of approximately $500 a month, we could see a huge cost savings over the $900 a month that we've been paying for voice over phone. So
Well,
we
one of the
don't know
things
for certain yet, but I'm excited and I'm optimistic, which would also give us new phones and possibly a new option of having a menu. So hopefully, I know doesn't help us right now, but I'm just figured I'd give you guys that update.
Yeah, one of the things you do have to remember going into a new phone system is buying new phones. And there is a substantial cost in that as well. So any savings will probably come a year or two out. Yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind because switching over, there's always a cost.
Right.
And we went through that with Nextiva where we didn't have the right phones. We finally got the right phones. And then we had a ton of issues where the system was continuously going down. And Marie would spend up to hours just straightening out, different departments and stuff.
Because there wasn't enough lines. But I will say additionally that you're not, if we were to have the capability to go on with the school, it's the IT, that department that's facilitating the actual voice over system. So that's where the savings could really come into play, even if we had to buy new phones. So just a thought. I just wanted to point that out.
Well,
yeah.
technology changes for the better, so
Yep.
it's always good to look at it. But
So Orla, can we scroll down just to the other part of this budget? I just want to look and see if there's any other items that we might want to discuss or change. I mean, I guess it's pretty straightforward.
yeah, your cost travel meetings, that's
Yeah.
straightforward.
Okay.
There's no issues there.
All right. So shall we move forward?
Yeah, keep going.
So if I can just make a point about this is the IT department. One of the things I had proposed in here, I'm just going to highlight the line, is a budget software and transparency. And I don't remember whether I guys sent you the proposal that I got, But for a number of years, I've been interested in looking at an option for transparency and our budgets. Basically, what you're talking about is an almost like an online budgeting software, which also is linked to a what we call a transparency in that on our website we will be providing real-time financial data, whether it's budgets, whether it's actuals, whether it's comparisons. And I did speak with, oh gosh, it might have been Neil. Neil wasn't interested in tag teaming with us on it. I did speak to Bob to see if he was interested in looking into the software side of things. He wasn't. He said he'd be happy to get what he gets out of Munis. To me, Munis doesn't work. I mean, I love the fact that we're able to produce a book, but it is really difficult to guarantee it. The file is getting corrupted more because it's a very old file and it's very complex and it's full of macros, and it's also open to errors constantly. You're dealing with Excel. It's all it's all formula driven, and I'm just ready to move on from it. So um, I have looked at a couple of different providers to this. There's two companies that are out there, kind of the best ones in this field. One is called Questica, and the other is called ClearGov. I've been speaking to both of those companies for a number of years. This proposal that I have in front of me, the cost here, 15,000, is based on a most recent proposal that I got from ClearGov. And if you bear with me a second, I might be able to pull it up. Now, one of the things I wanted to suggest was if we have time in these budget meetings, I could have the rep come on and do a 15-minute presentation if that was going to be of help, because it's a substantial cost we're talking about here. So
Is this a new line item?
no, well, yeah, it kind of it's within the maintenance agreement. So in the past, I would put $2,000 in for transparency, which is what it was. Um, I was going to encumber it in fiscal 20 and use the $2,000 from 2021 to pay the $4,000 fee for transparency in this year. But in further reviewing it, and I mentioned this to Amy, there's what we need more right now is setting up the budget software side of things and then move into the transparency. It can all happen at the same time, but we've got to work with the budgets first. Um, how it would work is basically an exported file out of Munis would be built into this company's software package, which is a cloud-based software, and it's available on with a link on our website. There's a number of different company or towns in Connecticut that use it. It's companies based out of Florida, but they have a number of different, sorry, based out of New York. This company is based out of New York, but they have a number of different towns in both Mass, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. But if you guys are up for it, this will give you an example of the kind of softwares that are out there. The other company is a similar software. Over the years, I think ClearGov, to me, is the better product out of the two. But
And we would still need to use Munis. This does not
Munis,
replace
yeah,
Munis.
this does not replace Munis. This is purely for budgeting side of things. So it would alleviate the need for me to generate the book, because this would generate a book for us. And I'll
But Munis will generate a book, right?
no, it doesn't generate a book. It generates spreadsheets. That's it. It doesn't generate any narrative. All of that you can take out of Munis and put it in to something similar to what we have already, but you need to add the narrative. And that whole process is so time consuming. I mean,
I'm
even
curious, the school does not have an interest in this?
no, when I mentioned it to
And,
Bob
and
about a
why
year
is that?
ago, he said he was quite happy to work with what he can get out of Munis. If he has the time to do that, that's great. I don't. So basically, it's not going to work for me anymore. Now, maybe he might be interested now in the fact that I'm having this conversation with you. He may be interested in it now. I don't know that, but the pricing that I have is purely based on the town. So
What was the 2,000 in that account already? Is that?
that was for the transparency side of it. So back in fiscal 19, I was suggesting putting $2,000. So transparency at the time was 4,000. At the time, I was trying to get the school on board to split the cost. So they would pay two, I would pay two. It didn't come about. This is back in Neil's time. He wasn't interested in doing it. So because remember, we did this budget back at the beginning of 2018. Neil was still here for budget season. So it was in our budget when our fiscal 19 budget was approved. I added to 2000 in fiscal 20 with the intention of looking at it again. And I did so in 2021 in the hope that I could get it started up. But as I mentioned, in further review, it didn't make sense to just take that side of it. I want to take those dollars and put it towards what we can use going forward as an entire package, which includes what they call the digital budget, the budget book, and the transparency side of it.
So did you say, I'm sorry, Orla, did you say that you accrued, that's been accrued towards this project?
No, I did not accrue it in fiscal 20 or 21, but I'm looking to accrue that $2,000 at the end of 21, which would go towards what we could use for next year.
And the total cost of this is 15?
It's approximately 15. I have the proposal in front of me, which includes pretty much most of the services. It's 15,252, but that's just what I received most recently. And that's what I was going to bring up. If you guys bear with me, I can bring it up on the screen.
Yeah, I think I have what you sent us the other
Oh,
day.
did I? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember whether I sent you any information about this, but I realized after Marie had done the presentation on the IT services budget that I hadn't actually brought this up. So I wanted to make sure I took the time to mention it to you guys today.
So I think so you're doing the job without this software right now, correct?
I'm using the Excel
I
spreadsheet.
guess I'm not seeing how it's going to be an advantage. And it's kind of 15,000, that's a decent amount to be spending.
That includes a setup fee. The setup fee is approximately 2,500.
Okay, so
that would
the
be a one-time
yearly
bill.
fee, I have two estimates here that you had sent us. The yearly fee was 13,252.
Yeah, I think, oh, you have the one I'm looking at, 13,252.
Yeah.
So actually the setup fee, they reduced it down to 900, and then the overall fee annually would be approximately $12,250. Keep in mind, I'm dealing with an Excel file, Suzanne, and I spend a ridiculous amount of time every year ensuring that the formula is correct because the file was created 10 years ago. And I'm
No,
done.
Orla, I'm not
It's just-
disputing that.
yeah.
I'm just trying to see if is there a better system that combines Munis and something like this? Are they two totally different things? Obviously, I don't do your job, so I don't know exactly what it is that you're looking for, but I would like to see it kind of be in conjunction with the school as we are hoping that we'll all be on board. It helps to cut the costs. You know what I mean?
agree.
It's more cost effective. So if they're saying they don't need it, I'm curious as to really why.
Well, they don't do the
That we
narrative
don't-
side of the budget
Because
book.
they have a bigger, they have,
They have much more budget line items and they don't do any narrative. One of the things that people want from the budget that I create in that budget book is the narrative. What you're seeing in front of you. Their book doesn't produce, what they produce doesn't have any of this information. Our budget book has one full page of narrative information and one full page of historic data. All they give you is the historic data. And I don't blame Bob. He's got thousands of budget line items, whereas we don't have we only have a quarter of what he has. So I get that he wouldn't be taking the time to create something narrative like this because they never needed it in the past. He does verbally go through each of the individual line items when he spends the time to go through it with his board of ed, but people like what I produce right now, and that's what I want to continue to be able to produce. But it's becoming harder and harder to use this file. So
sometimes I find what you put out as opposed to what the school puts out is more confusing.
well, they just give you line items. They just give you historical data. And you've been looking at it for long enough, Suzanne, so you know what you're looking at. I mean, what Bob produces is a lot better than what we used to get from Neil. And I think Bob is able to put it into an Excel spreadsheet and able to reformat it better than maybe Neil was doing.
See, I like what Neil produced better.
Oh, really? Well, his reports were directly out of Munis. To me, I mean, I started looking at those at the beginning when I first started, and I found it quite confusing because they weren't the reports that I generated out of Munis. There's different kind of customized reports you can get out of Munis, but I've tried to produce something like the budget, and the best I can get is similar to what you get on that second page.
I just want to look at it from the most cost-effective way of doing things. And I think
Absolutely.
maybe having a conversation with Bob, bringing him in to find out what it is that he, if there, maybe there's a different system out there that would combine both instead of paying 19 for Eunice and whatever the school pays, and then this transparency.
Well, we're locked in with Munis. I mean, the investment has already been there. This isn't the time to start changing our accounting softwares. And the kind of thing that we're looking at with regards to the budget is definitely over and above accounting software. This is, unless you have a newer kind of, web-based package. But if you were to look at how Munis is produced, it's like any very complex series of screens and screenshots and buttons here and there, and it's like any kind of system that you're using that's a web-based system. It's you go from 20 different pages down to 10, but the bottom line is the reporting is your typical accounting kind of non-typically user-friendly reporting. And what these companies do that generate these options for budget packages is take that information and make it more user friendly for your average citizen.
You know what, one thing that you said, Orla, that struck me when you were talking about Munis just now. I was just thinking if the reports and the budget book from Munis, is there some type, I know that we're invested in Munis and the school uses Munis, but maybe the bigger thing to do is look at another company altogether or upgrade or something so that we wouldn't have to need two. So we wouldn't have to have this ClearGov, that it would all just be included in the one accounting software program.
That's what I was saying.
Like that out there?
That's what I was saying.
So here's the thing. So you've got a company, how these kind of software companies work is they start with one small little part of a package,
Mhm.
and then they buy things to add on. And they buy and they buy and they buy. And that's how Tyler Technology is as big as it is, because they've bought about 40 different software companies out there. So
Okay.
they offer, I mean, their suite of products is, I think they offer 35 different municipal based software packages that do anything from processing utility bills to what we use it for. So with that said, they're not, if they, unless they see a company out there like a ClearGov or like a Questica that they're actually going to buy, they're not going to invest the R&D money into trying to produce something that somebody has already done. So I'll give you an example. So at the moment, Munis does offer a transparency piece, but it's not very helpful and it's not user friendly. And the only reason they have it is because they bought this small little company that were producing a transparency product, and they bought it cheap. And they tried to sell it to their Munis clients, but I've seen demo after demo of this, and it's not worth it. Whereas what, for example, ClearGov offers as an transparency piece is much more user friendly and it works more efficiently. Most likely, Munis is exactly the same as that. They don't have a budgeting company. If they bought ClearGov, then it'd be a no-brainer. We just end up paying the extra additional dollars involved. But I don't think that's going to happen. Yes, there is in relation to the overall question is there companies out there that offer the whole thing? No doubt there is. There's thousands of accounting software companies out there. There's only a certain amount that specialize in what we need to do here in Thompson. There's probably, and most of them are owned by Tyler Technology. There's about 10 to 15. So I don't know of any of them that produce a budget book similar to what I'm looking for. But Suzanne, my big concern is accuracy. It's
Right, me too.
always a concern that I have this Excel spreadsheet, which is honestly, it's now getting corrupt. Now I have to, if we go down to the nitty gritties in Excel, there's lots of different versions of saving documents in Excel. I now can no longer save it in the 2003 version of Excel. I have to now only save it in Windows, whatever the most Windows update is, the 2017. It'll only let me save it in that version. It's an old file. It was created, as I say, 10 years ago, many versions of Excel ago. So I didn't need to find some other solution. So
Okay.
Uh, have you thought, how much longer are we going to be with Munis?
our contract is renewing again. I just got a call from the sales rep the other day. He wants to talk.
Yeah.
It's usually 3-year contracts.
And what's the intent of the school?
What you mean?
Well, we partner with the school. They use
Yeah, we
Munis
usually go
too.
50-50. We charge 50-50. So
No, yeah, I know the cost sharing aspect, but I mean, is the school looking to stay with Munis?
I have not been told otherwise.
Yeah. I know I watch you when you do your spreadsheets and you're constantly reworking the formulas and different things in the middle of a meeting, and it does take time because the Board of Finance does look for, you know, what it reflects in the budget, you know, when they're getting down to the nitty gritty. And that does get some time consuming.
Yeah, it's not even just the time consuming, it's the accuracy part of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you type in the wrong formula, you throw the budget out of
But
whack.
that can happen with any system.
Well, not the kind of systems we're talking about here, because they're all everything is done on the back end. You're
Are
just
they
plugging numbers
preset?
into a box. You're plugging numbers into a box. The software is already set in stone.
Preset, that's what I said.
Yeah, like the formula already is in the back end. You don't even see it.
You know what? Maybe it would be beneficial to find out what other schools and towns are doing.
Yeah, a couple of them actually are starting to use companies like ClearGov and Questica.
What do they use for the accounting piece of it?
Most of them use Munis products.
And they do.
Yeah.
And that's school and town.
School and town, yeah. Most towns in Connecticut use Tyler products. I think of the 169 towns, I think Tyler is in at least half, if not more than half the towns.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just leave it in for now. And if that's something we want to come back to, we can.
And I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I'll have a chat with Bob as well and see if he wants to. You know, I did ask him to come on some demos that I had suggested to him, and he either wasn't available or it wasn't of interest to him. So, but I'll go back out to him again following this meet. You know, after we've discussed it and say, listen, would you be interested? You know, is it
And
something
if,
you would work for you?
And Orla, if you wanted to arrange for a presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could squeeze
Okay.
that in.
I'll reach out to Rob. He's in Long Island, so he's on East Coast, and I'll see if he can do something in one of our next 2 meetings.
And I just have to double check. Renee and Marie have had their hands up. I don't know if
Oh,
it's just from
okay.
before. I am going to lower the hands, but if you did want to speak, just unmute and let us know.
Oh, okay.
This is Marie.
Oh, okay.
Amy, I was just curious, for IT, is it the costs for system solutions, or have you switched it? And are these figures instead for your proposal of going with the school?
The 20,000 should cover the additional staff. It should work out to be equal.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Oh, yeah, we rounded it, right?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I did get an email this morning on Vision. I don't have a number in there, but Paul has reached out to the rep to see if they can get back to him. So I should have that by the time we meet again on Thursday. I put an estimate in of 10,000. And at this time, he's not interested in doing the conversion, but we
Okay.
still have this $10,000 accrued.
okay. What was the thought behind the conversion, and why doesn't Paul want it?
So originally, just going back to a conversation I had with Diana Kuchar about 2 years ago, they wanted each of the towns to do the conversion. Basically, the older version was not going to be fully supported, so the
Okay.
recommendation was to upgrade. But what they had wanted you to do at the time was they wanted you to do an upgrade before a revaluation year. And Diana was reluctant to do that because she felt she was being pushed into it. So we actually didn't, and she kind of used the changes that were going on in her department as a way to hold off on things. And Paul is very sure he doesn't want to do any upgrade right now. He's happy with the version he's working with. They're still supporting it for the foreseeable future. So and he knows we have this $10,000 accrued if he needs it at any stage.
Okay, good. Can you scroll down one more time?
Sure.
Or you just want to see that? Just all the way to the bottom of this page, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
All right.
Thoughts?
Leave it in and, run it by the Board of Finance as well. They, if it makes that new software program, I've seen Orla many times, trying to correct formulas and add things and subtract things. And it links in the Board of Finance meeting. I know when I've looked at the Board of Ed budget, it is confusing compared to what we produce and put out with the narratives, which is I think beneficial to the general public. But I'm ready to move on.
Department is mine. No, I was going to get some information for you guys and I haven't got it yet, so apologies. That'll be something I have to get for Thursday. Sorry. It's been a hectic few days trying to get this audit report finished, so I've actually been answering emails during this meeting to the auditors, so I'll have it to you guys before we meet again on Thursday. Any other comments on this department or? Oh, you know what? Can I increase the meetings and fees? We did get the pricing in for, I think I might have mentioned to you the Munis conference that we've gone to in the past is all virtual this year, and it's been held at the end of April. It's $595 per person. So I'm going to register at least one person. So it's all tied to this, two people can't be watching it from two different computers at the same time. But I think between me, Paula, and Marie, we'll be able to tag team and attend at least some of the classes within the three of us over the 3-day period. So I do want to increase this, okay? The estimate, and I think that's going to be it. There's going to be no travel involved because it's all virtual. And that's the only meeting that I plan to attend this year. So, anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Next one is tax collector. Just go up here for a bit. Just let me know when to scroll down.
Oh, well, I guess we can wait. We'll do all the salary. Although their salary didn't change, so never mind. For the union, I was just thinking that we accepted
yeah.
the union contract, but
Oh,
that
yeah,
didn't change.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. No, we'll do that when we come to the next department relating to the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rainey's budget is always very straightforward. Again, I don't see any changes necessary here.
We were fine when we had our discussion with them. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's no fat in it at all.
Yeah, the only increases are the two items from the union increases, and then he put a $650 in for additional advertising. And $100 in for office supplies. I can move on whenever you guys want to.
I think I'm good.
I'm good with this one.
Let's see.
assessor.
We made adjustments to the assessor's office previously.
Yep, I don't,
So I'm good with it.
I'm good with the assessor too.
Yep.
Next one is BAA.
Other than wages, she stayed flat.
Erica always puts in increases. And I don't know what we did last year, if we stayed with it and sent it on, or,
I think we usually, they're usually tied to whatever the non-union increases are, but I know there's some departments like herself that put them in, request specific dollar amounts. So I can,
well, Board of Assessment Appeals is a little bit different than the other departments in that sense, but Amy, do you remember what we did last year? Did we just send it on the way it came through? Did we take them all out? I mean, I know we probably did in the end, right?
let me just check for you.
Yeah, what was the department? Oh, that should be in the,
Yeah, from 19 to 20, it went up by $23.
Okay,
That
so
was it.
she asked for,
$100 increase this time.
she asked for $100 increase, and then we took that away from her with nobody getting increases.
So nobody got increases?
Nobody got
Last
increases.
year.
And then the prior year, she requested a 2% increase and then a 4% for her secretary, and she got both of them.
Can you go back up?
Sure.
Other than the secretary, these are all elected positions?
Yes.
Yes.
How does that how do theirs get paid out? Like twice a year when they meet, or is it per meeting or per month?
So, I'm trying to remember now.
And I have to kind of take myself out of the secretary position there and not comment because that's my daughter. I'm just curious in asking this. I know hers is
Yeah.
per meeting.
So I think, oh gosh, I'd have to double check. Hang on one second.
I don't know if it matters even.
I don't remember if they get paid lump sum or it's spread out over,
I was just curious, I
12
think, more
weeks.
than anything.
but the secretary does get paid monthly.
No, she gets paid per
Per
meeting.
meeting, and there's
Right.
a certain amount of like 6
'Cause-
meetings or something.
yeah,
right?
exactly, because they only have so many meetings. How many meetings is she in for?
Let's have a look and see. She's in for,
Is that 12? Yeah,
12. Okay, so let's have a look and see how it's been paid so far this year. Can you guys see what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. The Munis screen?
Yep.
Okay.
and we're still on your workbook. Were you switching us over to the Munis?
Yeah, can you see
So
it?
that's not coming over. It's still.
No, we got what you sent us.
Okay. So sometimes when I switch around, I never know whether I'm, it's switching around on your screen too.
Well,
Okay. So let's see. So hers
Don't
is
they meet twice a year?
Yes.
and the number of meetings depends on the number of appeals.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. For Erica's salary, we paid her one time and it was in September. So that must have been when she had her series of September meetings. Last year, we paid her in September, we paid her in October, and we paid her again in April. And they're the timing. So she's paid at the time of the meetings. So, for example, it looks like her salary was split 50-50. Half of it was paid in the September, October, fall time, and the other half was paid in April. So I'm assuming we do the same for the other elected positions. And I think I'm trying to think any other elected positions that are similar to that. The registrar of voters we pay at the end of each month. Is there any others that I can't think of? That's all. Yeah, I think it's pretty much limited. That the paid
And
elected officials are, the part-time paid elected officials, I think, are limited to BAA and the registrars.
Well, I mean, I know that the
and
100,
Board of Selectmen.
No, but they're full-time. Oh, you guys part-time. Yes, you two guys part-time. You're right. Sorry.
With the, with the Board of Assessment Appeals, I believe that they have to be paid. Is that correct? That's a state?
I actually don't know. The Board of Assessment Appeal is mandated by state statute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Review. I'm just wondering if there's any.
Twice
my-
during the tax year. Okay, so it says it right in front of me.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering with regards to being paid, that I'm not sure. I'm just wondering because this information was put in by Mike.
it says board member are required by law to be compensated.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
thought
does?
there was,
There you go.
yeah. So I'm only asking these questions because those percentages are kind of high compared to what we will probably put in for other employees.
I tend to agree. I think that they should probably I know it's insignificant. I know it's a small amount, but it really should
Exactly.
follow suit with everybody else. Is my thought process.
Say that last part again, you'll what?
That it should follow suit with everybody else. That's all. It's just because it does seem high. But yet the amount is insignificant because,
I mean, you're looking at a percentage on $1,100.
right.
It's going to go up because the $100,
But they're
jumps it up.
On the other hand,
they're public servants. They're doing this as a service to,
except for the recording secretary.
except for the,
Right.
But on the other hand, their job became so much, as Erica was explaining, a lot more difficult.
Well,
because
very
now
contentious.
they had to explain how to use Zoom to some people. They had to spend a lot of time. I don't know.
Yeah, but they also battle with some of these people that come in that disagree with them and they're given a run for their money.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of abuse that goes on because people are frustrated. And, if you look at 2% of, $1,100,
can you go back up, Orla?
is nothing. You look at 2% of $15 and they're getting paid, weekly.
I don't know if we were ready to take the percentages out. I think
I
it
was just playing with the numbers. Nothing
Yeah.
was. It's back again.
I don't know what to say on this one. Maybe just send it on to, it is a small amount.
I have no
Send-
problem
send
with
it
the
on.
$100.
okay.
I don't have a problem with it either. I'm afraid just looking at it with the percentages listed there, maybe if that were not there,
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
But it's a lot different when you're getting somebody that's working part-time, and they get a 2% increase and they're working, 15, 20 hours a week,
This isn't even part-time.
No, it's X number of meetings.
So I'm okay with leaving it.
Do you want to leave the secretary as same as is? Because the other departments.
I'm okay with leaving all of it the same way it's come in and then either visiting it again or letting the Board of Finance deal with it. Ken?
It's a very nominal amount. I'm good with moving it forward.
and one thing that I would say, I mean, I tend to be critical about people who are elected officials and I know it's a small amount. But I feel like we're all public servants. But looking at the secretary wages at $105 per meeting, that seems more than fair for the secretary's position. So,
Only because I know the position, I think it's low. But I said I should abstain from that. I happen to know she has to do a lot more than the typical secretary.
The only light on this board is that, and Erica had mentioned it, that she's had a great support from Paul. He's been great to work with, and I think they'll have a better working relationship
Yes,
than in the past.
yes,
So that'll be helpful to the board as a whole.
as a
That's-
whole. With the secretary, though, she doesn't just post minutes and write the agendas.
Right.
She's got to post legal notices and that.
And
Right.
she also makes all the appointments does all the mailings and has been teaching people how to use Zoom and that kind of thing. So I don't want to minimize that.
What I was kind of saying and in a roundabout way was that I'd be happy leaving that, but maybe I want to revisit the elected officials, but again, it's a small amount, so it's not going to affect the budget dramatically.
You're right.
It's-
But I don't mind
Oh.
like stepping away from this particular budget
Yep.
because I feel I mean,
Well, it can honestly go to the Board of Finance and let them, if they need,
yeah,
want to bring that
I'm
down.
too close to this one.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on.
Sorry. The next is elected officials. No, sorry, registrars.
Registrars.
Okay.
Okay. And that
So-
shouldn't, I think
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
they're always spot on.
I'm not arguing with Frank and Eileen.
No.
No, I mean, that's cut and dry.
Yeah, Suzanne, you ought to know better.
I've learned.
So, town
Or
clerk,
another, I removed their salary, so I have to put that back in again.
Oh, God.
Okay, it's back in again and it's the same as it was. So, but you saw they have a reduction in their workers and also.
Yeah, election workers, yep.
Okay, and they also had a reduction in the machine cost. So, let me just take a note that I fixed salaries.
Okay, I'm going to step away for a moment.
Sure. Okay. I'll put this up and then we can start on it when Ken's back.
Hey,
that okay?
While Ken's out.
Sure.
Not that I'm hiding anything from him, but just while there's a lull,
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten about this. I think Scott's probably mentioned it to you in the past about shredding services.
Hmm.
And I know it was brought up at last year's budget at some point, and I said, well, we don't, or maybe it was just after budget season. I said, well, I need some numbers.
Okay.
And I said, find me a company, get me some numbers as far as what it would cost. And this is
Great.
what he sent me, and I'll just read it verbatim.
Sure.
I spoke with Christopher Packard and explained that we might be looking for, and this is a local office, a shredding company out of Mansfield. We were only inquiring for budget amounts at this point. He was very accommodating and he thoroughly explained his company's options and what he thought would work best for us based on my explanation. With that being said, he's proposing an annual one-time shredding service utilizing their 64-gallon medium-sized wheel carts. Their service would entail them dropping off cart or carts after we contact them and picking them up approximately 2 weeks later, where they would transport documentation for our records. The minimum cost for the complete service and one cart would be $250 and $50 for each additional cart needed. And he made the suggestion that we do enough to cover 4 carts at $400. And I'm wondering what, and we can bring it up again, but I'm not sure where that would fall in the budget. Would it fall under
IT really.
IT?
Yeah. Yeah. We could put it in as a,
I mean, what do you, and we can ask Ken too when he comes back, Suzanne, but what are your thoughts? They spend a lot of time shredding documents.
yeah, they do. They're shredding today. I heard them behind the wall.
Okay. And
So is it, what kind of, I mean, do they have a decent shredder?
Well, this
No, they
company would be, oh, they don't. They have a little like office one that they sit there and
Would it be,
no, we had bought a decent commercial one a couple of years back.
oh yeah, but it still doesn't like do a massive.
Oh, it has its limitations, but
so that's not, I mean, it's not gonna be money that we could spend on a shredder that would have the
Well,
same
it-
effect.
But
I
you're-
think it would alleviate the labor involved in
Right.
shredding.
I mean,
I hear-
we've burnt it at the transfer station in the past.
that we can't do that now.
Yeah.
You know,
So
which
at the
does
How
take some
much
time.
shredding do they do?
obviously, I don't know, but it seems like it goes on a lot. I don't know. I
Which
actually
office,
don't know
are
how
you
much
talking
shredding.
about one office?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tax
go-
office.
It would be for all, it would be for the entire town hall, but
Yeah.
Scott was
Yeah,
the candidate
because-
that brought it up.
You know, all the ballots that are, we have to keep them for an X amount of time, but then I kind of like to have them, I don't like to just put them in the trash, you know? So there's a lot that comes through from elections, I know. And, you know, every year there's certain things we can get rid of. Every office, you keep certain things for a length of time. So we're all, I think, have something we shred or need to.
Do I think most of us apply to the state every year to get.
Yeah, and a lot of that paperwork has different,
Is this a one-time?
yeah, it goes through each department depending on the expiration of certain types of
No,
documents.
but are we talking a one-time or a monthly?
It was one time, $400 to cover the cost. It's a one time, so everybody would have to coordinate within a 2-week span is
Yeah.
what it is. So everybody would have to coordinate. Now's the time to get rid of your old documents.
Yep.
And he's figuring what was the, I'm just looking at the size.
First box is 250, right?
64 gallon, medium sized wheeled carts. So, and Scott had suggested 4 carts, which would be a $400 one-time fee, but again, in a 2-week block. So either you'd put stuff to the side and say, this is what I want to shred. And then we plan a 2-week period to do it.
So you'd have to store it for a year.
Well, potentially, I mean, if you're following a document shred
You know what I'm saying?
program, like I shred all my stuff at my business every year. What's next? And it gets shredded.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Paula does the same thing with clearing out files and
yeah.
so.
We do. We apply every June. So usually
Right.
once our year end is done, she's taking all the old stuff out and getting ready. And I'd say we used to have it picked up by the highway guys and they would burn it. But now it goes into big black bags and goes in with the trash.
Mm.
You know, nothing is confidential. All the payroll stuff we have to keep forever. So we don't get rid of that. But it's the other stuff.
So, I mean, the good thing about doing with that type of, you're insured that it's recycled.
It's true.
So, but it's $400. It's something that Scott had made the request for, and I was certainly happy to bring it to the Board of Selectmen, and I apologize it's been sitting right here in my office and.
But I think that would be a great thing to do. If we do it once, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then if it was successful, we could do it on an annual basis.
Yeah, we probably should reach out to the departments to find out what their time schedules are and how much they're generating per year.
We'll plan it for next year, but we
Yeah.
can coordinate ahead of time
Yeah.
with all the departments and say, hey, we're planning a shred event. What month works best for you?
Sure. Is it something you'd like me to put in the budget here? Do you want to have further discussion?
I personally would like to see it in the budget, but I'm happy to hear what the other 2 selectmen think.
I'm fine with it,
It's not an astronomical amount.
no, and that's, I don't know, is that where you'd put it under a separate line item?
Yeah,
And
just
that's
professional services here in
professional
the IT and
services, yeah.
supplies.
That looks right.
No, you can put it in.
Take your time, Orla.
Sure, professional services is there. Okay, good.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, where are we at?
All right, so we were at town clerk.
We were. Okay, just bear with me.
I can't remember what was I gotta look in the notes. The indexing and the microfilm.
Remember Renee explained it
Oh, I
in
have it.
detail.
I know,
Yeah.
but I forgot.
I have it here in the notes. It might be actually.
Renee is in the meeting.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know
she is.
it was.
Cool. I left a box here, yes, because I knew I had to ask Renee for the narrative to put in. But in here, what I did add was $5,000. So all
That's
I need is a narrative to,
That was to do more work.
yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I just know, I mean, it
Can you
might,
go down just a little bit, Orla,
absolutely.
so I can see the bottom line for that department?
There you go.
So it did increase it a little bit.
right.
So
Yeah,
I,
you had the $5,000 increase.
so she said add to, I'm looking at my notes here. 49, 4,980 and 40 cents. We rounded it to 5,000
Right.
for additional indexing and microfilling, but I can't remember what particular work were we doing an additional microfilling on? Did you
No,
say,
but she
Renee?
did give a detailed explanation.
Yeah, she gave a detailed explanation of how it has to be, how
It'll
the,
be important for us to remember. Exactly.
I had it here, but
Renee, you'll have to be at the Board of Finance meeting to explain it.
Well, I think if Renee and Orla get together, they can fill that in.
I think I asked her during the meeting if she was gonna be available.
oh, here it
Because it was,
is.
remember, it was complex?
Yes, I have it here. It's ongoing land record filming and microfilm storage. Additional 5,000 to microfilm vital records from 1999 to 2020, and to microfilm and print archival copies of boards and commission minutes, which are permanent records. I just didn't add it in here at the top. So that's what I have to add in.
Oh, so you'll add that in, so we have some
Yes.
sort of a narrative that
That'd be
we,
fabulous.
that will be good, okay.
Sorry, my
I'll
bad. I forgot to add
remember
it in.
Did want to make a comment, just so that you didn't get the wrong impression, that, so on filming, those films take like 3,000 pieces of
No.
pieces of paper. So it's not that anybody was lax in getting these filmed. It's just that you got to wait a period of time to get enough so you make it worth it. You don't want to have a quarter roll of film you're wasting, because every year we pay for storage on film as well. So like the 1998 for the vitals till now, we'll go on 2 rolls pretty nicely. So I just wanted you to not be left with the wrong impression that somebody just.
Oh, I didn't get that impression,
Oh, okay, great.
not at all. In
If
fact,
Very good.
if I came across that way, that's not what I meant to
no, and I
say.
wouldn't,
I remember what it was.
yeah, no, I didn't remember in detail, but I knew that you had presented it very well. It
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah, I'll be in on the meeting. Hopefully not every single one of them.
just the one when they talk about your budget.
Yeah, and who knows when that will be.
But you know what? If Orla puts in that more detailed narrative, then that makes sense.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
I mean, just I could never repeat that again, though. So I need it in writing. So, but I'm good with this budget.
Yeah,
No
Next.
problem.
Next one is town council.
I think we were all in agreement on that as well.
Yeah, I
A
think
lot
so
going
too.
on.
yep.
And probate court, we don't really have much say in.
No,
No,
Mine it
that's
was-
per capita.
Right.
It bugs me that they use an old, they use, oh no, she's up to date. Forget it. Okay, next one is town hall building. I was going to make a comment about our population, but it's fixed this year. So I think the big change we were doing here was merging the 2 positions,
Right.
right, Amy?
Yep.
Okay, and
Nothing else.
You had postage meter that went up, and you had the building repairs and maintenance. Numbers were shifted.
oh yeah, let me just look up. Is there some comments? Oh yeah, I put something in here. Move postage
What is
meter
that
to
sound?
post.
somebody must be getting a text or a,
Somebody's.
People just don't leave me alone.
Oh, it's you.
Well, especially with the spam and everything else that comes through email.
It's a very interesting.
oh, do you have it so that when you get an email too, you get a noise? Or a,
Yeah.
God. So basically on cleaning services, we've got money in for carpets. We've moved this position into a one-time position up to 19.5.
yep.
We're doing an average rate of 17.50. Amy, have you talked to Pete about this? Not that it's going to make any difference to him, but did you mention it to him that we were looking to kind of merge the 2?
Oh, but it's not going to affect his pay in any way.
No, the only thing is at the
Does he
moment,
log it in differently?
He does. He logs them in separately, but some weeks he might do more custodial work than maintaining work, and he gets a higher rate for that than he does for the maintaining. But at the end of the day, the average will work out at the end of the year.
Right.
So because I literally took both rates and divided it by 2.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we're probably better off doing that.
yeah,
But are you, I mean, the way he gets paid isn't changing because, or is
No,
the,
as long as he ends up with the same rate.
right,
I
I
mean,
mean, for the most
Pete
part.
does a great job.
So, well, for the most part, I mean, there's going to be times of the year where he finds he's doing more custodial work. And it's particularly at this time of the year because, well, normally in a normal year when you have a huge amount of traffic, the carpets are a mess. Just in general, the summer is a lot cleaner because you have a different kind of traffic. You don't have the same cleaning issues that he has, that he would have during the winter. So as I say, it all depends on the time of the year. Like, for example, I think when I looked at the year-to-date numbers, he had more time spent on custodial than he did on, and this was at the end of December. He had spent 5,000 on custodial and he'd only spent 2,500 on building. That's probably creeped up differently now because he's been doing some work around the building and there's probably other stuff that he's going to be doing in the spring. But I know he worked when we had the duct work done, he was working all weekend and that wasn't custodial, that was building maintainer. So, but that'll just give you an idea. I mean, the bottom line is he's getting an average rate for both positions.
and that's how you're going to pay him on his check then?
Yes, we're going to pay him. He's
And
not
I know
going
you asked me if I talked to him about this, but I never made this change personally. So
Oh,
if you would like me to talk to him,
had I suggested it?
I
I'm sorry.
had nothing to do with making that change.
Oh my
But
God, I
but I'm
thought it was.
happy after the fact to tell him that he's getting paid this rate.
Yeah, you better have a
I'm
chat with
sorry.
him.
I will.
Somebody better talk to him.
Yeah, you don't like surprises.
No.
Oh,
No,
that's true. I'm sorry, Amy.
That's
Yes,
okay.
you're right.
So currently when he's an evening custodian, he is, when he's building maintainer, his salary is,
1691,
okay,
and I think it's $18 when he's evening custodian,
okay.
and that is
So it's
$34.91. So I just
custodian.
rounded it to 35 and divided it by 2.
No, that's great. I mean, I don't see a problem with that, but I'll mention it to him.
Yeah, and blame me. I'm sorry about that. I was like, oh, forgot. Okay. Any other questions on this?
down.
Okay.
What was it with the telephones?
So I under budgeted last year.
Okay.
Came in at 20,000. Now this all might change because, as Amy had mentioned, that we're possibly looking at different phone service and different phones. So, I just threw in an estimate based on the increase over the years. So, there you are.
And the internet, is that lumped in?
Yeah, I was going to break it down, wasn't I? I didn't do that. Break out internet and phones. I could actually do that straight away if you don't mind. Internet is set $700 a month.
Well, internet is going to be $125 a month.
Starting when? When did that contract go into effect?
I signed the contract, so we should start seeing this serve. They just had to do a couple repairs on the fiber.
And then we have to, are we going to just wait and get it up and running with the, before we cancel out the other?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
So we can put in a smaller dollar amount there then?
Yeah, we can.
The telephone?
No, for
Internet.
Oh, you may be on internet, but the telephone itself, depending on what IT tells us, hooking into their system, we still may have to put money aside for equipment upgrade.
oh yeah, I don't think we should change
Not the telephone we're talking, right?
No, we're just talking about the internet.
Internet.
We
'Cause
send
that
that you guys gave me the thumbs up.
No, no, I have no problem with that. It's
Yeah.
a better deal without a doubt. But I want to make sure if, maybe you can get it from Heather at IT. Will our current phone system need to be replaced, or will it adapt to the voice over that they're currently using? Because it's going to cost us money to upgrade that. We're going to have to put that in somewhere.
So Amy, was that 125 a month?
It is 125. Yeah, it's 125 a month for that first year. So yes.
Great.
And then they'll judge how much we've actually used, but based on what we've been paying for charter, and what we've received from charter, it should stay at the 125
Okay.
per
So
month.
that would bring the telephone service itself down to 13,600. We currently pay about, it hovers between 950 and over 1,000 with Nextiva every month. And the 13,600 should cover that. It's actually going to cover above it anyway. So we probably won't even use that much. Might be a little.
So that covers our Nextiva, which we could, if we had to, stay in with them for the next year,
Yes,
if things don't work out with the school.
correct.
Okay. Because the phone systems work fine. I would only want to change if it can save the town money and provide the same service. So
Yeah, I mean, definitely the phone service works. It does. We do have drop calls from time to time. It does happen, but I don't necessarily think that that's Nextiva's fault. It could be charter.
yeah, right.
You got Marie. Ask Marie if there's any more issues with Nextiva and service.
As far as what I've been hearing from people, everything's going very well overall. When things do happen, a lot of times it's as simple as unplugging your phone and plugging it back in again. Will bring it back to what you need. There are some things where we end up having to call Nextiva to get assistance with, there maybe being problems with whose name is listed on the phone or where messages are being stored. But overall, I think everybody is working with it very well, and I don't see a reason to change unless there's a savings, as Amy said.
I just have to step away for a second, okay? I just got to give something to somebody at the door.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just gets down. I have no problem with Nextiva.
Right.
The issues that we were having in the beginning have been ironed out. I'm just, long as the hardware or whatever you want to call it works on the new cable system, then there shouldn't be any additional cost, for equipment.
So do the internet and the telephone, are they added in together to see the savings over on the decrease side? Is that why we're not seeing a decrease in the internet?
Was internet not there before? It doesn't have a code next to it.
I don't know. It was,
I don't know if Orla just cleaned it out. It may have
don't
been
know.
figured into the telephone system. I don't remember. Marie should know. Because when it was redone in, I don't know, the end of 15, I think it was, they had run the charter had to run the fiber optics in from the pole, and then we went into the 5-year contract, and that was all tied in with Nextiva, and it did the internet as well.
The internet's a new line. It wasn't in last year's budget.
Okay.
That's
So
what-
it was probably under the phone then.
So yeah, where was it then?
It was under the phone.
Okay.
And that's why we're seeing the negative 440, 4,400.
For the phone service, yeah, because she just
okay.
sat there and did the numbers and pulled the internet out of it. So,
Okay, Orla's back.
yay.
Okay. Now,
Hey, Orla, in the telephone,
yes.
we still got Frontier with some of that cost in there as well?
Nope, this is just town hall, and in town hall we have all Nextiva.
No, but because of the alarm system, it's a hard line.
No, I think we ended up switching it over. I don't think. Nope, I don't. Well, I might
Mm.
be wrong. Hang on a second.
I remember we had the Frontier come in because we had water in the line. They had to make some repairs, and if the internet goes down, the hard line would continue to go versus the internet. So we stayed with the hard line just
You're
for.
right. We do. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. You're right. We do have. We have. It's either one or two. It says
And-
alarm system, so it must be only one line.
So Erla, we have a landline for the security system is what you're saying
Yes, we do.
with Frontier. So we have an account with them. So
Yes.
one of the recommendations that IT had made was that Rich at the highway garage cannot lose internet because when he loses internet, he loses his telephone service. And they had made the suggestion, or when he loses power, he loses the internet service. They had made the suggestion that he goes to the landline.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. he
So
won't be
where
there.
would that fall if we added a landline for him? Would that fall under his budget?
It would. Yes. It's got
Okay.
a separate line in his budget.
Okay. That'll be something we probably want to consider doing.
Yeah, and the fact that we already have the account with Frontier, we just add that line back. When we're ready to switch over from Nextiva or wherever, we
Wherever
just
we go.
remove the line from Nextiva. If we're sticking with Nextiva, we just remove the line from Nextiva, and because that line was the original line with Frontier, we moved it to Nextiva. We move it back again to Frontier.
Yeah. But that would,
Yeah.
that would prevent him from being part of the phone system though.
Correct. Yeah,
So
it would.
that's the tough thing.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know, maybe he gets a second line. Maybe he just has a second line for emergency purposes.
That's true. He has 2 incoming lines, I believe, at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, one
he's
for
g-
the mechanic and one for him. Actually, speaking of which, if Kelly is there, is she going to need a separate line?
I thought Rich had the voice over with the internet there.
He does have the
Yeah.
voiceover. That's the problem because when the electricity goes out, the internet goes out, the service
Oh.
goes, out, we can't connect.
But we do have the generator there.
And maybe it's just an internet problem. I don't know. It's just something to look in. It's something the school IT had made a
Yeah,
suggestion.
I mean, we do have a Kohler generator there now, the same thing as what we got at the town hall.
Okay.
And I
The only
believe
thing
that,
is, Ken, you know what it might be? I know, hey, most of us have charter in town. I know when my power is out, my internet's out as well.
Mhm. Right.
So even when I run the generator, I can't get internet.
Oh, I can at home.
You can.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
too, as long as I got power at
Okay.
the house.
As
Does
long
it-
as the generator's running.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, there's been rare times that the internet has gone down, but it's rare.
Yeah, but that's when the
not-
charter has gone down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Gets knocked out.
Okay.
That'd be a conversation to ask Chris Nelson.
Or the IT department at the school.
Well, we had Chris straighten out the stuff at the highway garage because of the alarm system, the swipe.
And we've had,
Yeah.
since then, Venture has been there and installed a new swipe system. And, yeah, things are working pretty well. So any other thoughts on this department?
No.
Nope.
Moving on to fire marshal.
Okay. So I added the 8 hours for Donna's time to this line item.
Oh, okay, good.
So this created an additional line down here.
And you pulled it from the building department?
I did.
Okay, great.
I know.
Secretariat?
Yeah,
Looked like
something like that.
secretary, and I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta fix that.
Yeah, might wanna fix that.
I'm going to change that code anyway. Okay. So yeah, I put in it's 1/5 of her, actually it's 25%. No, yeah, she works 32. This is 8.
Okay.
24 with the building, 8 with the fire marshal's office.
And that'll have to be explained to the Board of Finance that we shifted.
have income was 2,900, leave as is for the moment. Ask Jamie for a total estimate. Did he give it to us? Maybe, okay, I'll put a note in here. I gotta ask him. That's for the income side of things.
Do we have any, so how do I ask this? Other departments, do individuals have cell phones?
A couple of them do. So we have an account with Verizon, and we currently have 5 phones on it. I think it's a highway, fire marshal, rec department, which is actually
Yep.
paid for by the rec department. It's paid for by the Purity Rec and Camp. And then what was the 4th one? Oh yeah, animal control. So the rest of them are covered. Everybody uses their own personal phones, and the only one that gets reimbursed for using his own personal phone at the moment is the building official, because he didn't want to carry 2.
And do we know if the school has cell phones?
I think most of these, well, I know Melinda has
I just wonder if there's
has a cell
any
phone that's covered by the town, but I'm trying to think if anybody else has.
benefit to bundling.
Yeah, I would have to
Together.
think Bill Birch has got to have a school phone
Yeah,
as
they
well.
probably have a bunch of Verizon phone account too, something similar. We're in a contract. That's the only thing. We just got into contracts for rec and oh gosh, I can't remember who's the other one. Oh yeah, animal control. So each of them are on a different 24-month contract. You know, similar to a personal account. You pay it over 24 months.
Oh yeah, I know.
Cost of the
Believe
phone.
me, I know.
Yeah. We're all in there.
I'm all about saving money any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
And sometimes maybe there's a way, if you merge,
Accounts.
if you merge the contracts, and as long as you're still paying it to Verizon, but I'm wondering if there's any benefit to look into trying to work with the school on that.
Yeah, I'll ask Bob where the account is with. If it's with Verizon, then it's a no-brainer.
And I don't know if there's any savings.
Yeah,
But-
there might be though.
I'm all about saving a buck here or saving a buck there. Why pay more to Verizon if we don't have to?
Absolutely.
I think I support them solely.
Yeah, you must have a lot of accounts on your phones on your account.
I think there's
Well,
6
if we could-
phones.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always reach out to the school, find out how many you've gotten. Even Orla can call Verizon and see what they're willing to do.
Well, first I'll find out whether we have Verizon up at the school, and we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
I think
If-
they do. I think
I-
Melinda told me she has a Verizon service.
It can't hurt.
Absolutely.
Did Amy step away for a second?
No, I've been eating and I didn't want you guys to hear my food crunching. So thoughts, I know Jamie had asked for a small increase for him and Dino. Do we want to wait and visit that all at the same time?
Yeah.
Or did you have thoughts? I know I know they do a lot of work.
Oh,
I
they
know
do an
they're out
outstanding
all
job.
hours of the day and night. I know Dino was recently during the hoarding situation. He was the responder to that. So they are very dedicated.
We've gotten more done in the past couple of years than we've done in 10 years.
Yeah.
With
So Dino gets 5,000
Yeah.
divided by 12, and the fire marshal is getting 20,000 divided by 12,
Correct.
and they get a monthly stipend.
They do.
And once the COVID
No benefits.
lift, then it's time to start. Dino's big job is going to be inspecting the multifamilies. They haven't been able to do that.
yeah, and he's also the burning officer as well.
Right. But does he have, is that a separate line item?
It
Orla?
is. It's in the fire department
In the
budget.
fire departments. So he gets paid separately for that, correct?
Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
But that amount of money just to go through the schooling that Dino went through?
Oh, I don't think that we should,
No,
I think he's well worth it. I don't think there's
They
a
both
question
are.
there. I do too. I
And I-
agree with you.
I think their proposed budget increase was fair.
I do too.
yeah, and you know, it seems like it's a big jump, but we've done, over say 10 years, there's been basically no increase in that department based on
Now we
what was
have-
being accomplished.
No work
No
yet.
work done.
Well,
Right.
now we have two, let's not talk about the past. Now we have two
No, but you got two dedicated people.
dedicated, exactly. We're all on the same page, I think, Ken.
Yeah,
Right. I agree.
We're really lucky that we have Jamie and Dino. They really do a fantastic job. They really do. But we all know that, right?
We do, and I'm sure they're working beyond their hours, you know,
Oh, yeah.
what their expectations were for the job. And they're probably all like wishing they never took the job, but
it's a labor of love.
gotta be.
And they're both volunteer. Well, I know
Yeah.
Dino's still a volunteer fireman. I'm not sure what Jamie is.
Jamie's really into, I think he's EMS and he's doing a lot of training, teaching.
Training, that's right. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
teaching.
but I mean, he was chief at one time
Isn't
Yeah.
it his full-time gig is fire at the casino?
Fire, yeah,
at the
he is.
casino. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so he's all into
Down
it.
there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm good with this one.
I am too.
Amy, I have a question, John Rice,
Hi, John Rice.
Hey, when did you get in here?
and I've been in from the beginning.
Did you get my
Oh,
email today, John?
I'm sorry?
Did you get my email today?
No.
Oh, I missed you last night in the planning and zoning meeting.
Oh, I didn't miss it.
Well, I was working. Too.
If she can roll back up, I see a line item about taking 8 hours from the building committee. What's that about?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no, building secretary.
Building office.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
that's
change that from
Oh, the
secretary to building office. I
Okay.
think that's appropriate, Orla.
Yeah, okay.
okay.
hmm.
Make me nervous here. Thank
no,
you.
No,
we didn't take
no.
anything away. We just are making sure it falls under the right budget.
It's just
Okay.
splitting the departments.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for noticing, John. Okay, I plugged in the department requests in here. I think that might be the only change I made.
Yeah, aren't-
Oh, I put in
Aren't
program.
these the same request that they made pretty much last year that we moved forward with? Some of them are higher, 80. I thought we, no,
gave
but what, not what we gave them, but what, if you scroll down, what was the Board of Selectmen?
Oh, yeah,
450, right?
that's what they're
Oh.
requesting now. Let's see, hang on, I'll look at last year's.
The Selectmen, yeah,
Um,
it's
we
exactly,
Something similar, we moved forward with 472, which was, there was 75 from ambulance, 75 from community fire, 80 from East Thompson, 72 Thompson Hill, 75 West Thompson, and 75 Quinnebog. Oops, sorry, I'll go back up again. Yeah, so it does look, it's very similar. Yep. Community fire is asking for 80. Last year they asked for 75. East Thompson asked for 70, or they asked for 80 last year, and this year they're asking for 75. Thompson Hill asked for 72 last year, same as this year. West Thompson are asking for 73. They asked for 75 last year, and 75 from Quinnebog, same as last year.
I'm gonna respect their request. They've all justified their needs.
I'm gonna hold my comments.
I'm with Suzanne. I'd like to we can just move forward Yeah. And I don't think there was anything, I knew the firefighter refund we had to plan because of the potential increase. Is that what the increase to 60 is, Orla?
Yes, yeah, I didn't know what you were planning to do, so I just took a ballpark on 60, but
Well, I wonder how we should, for this coming year, how, because it's going
Yeah.
to potentially, if we move forward with it being an assessment
mhm.
reduction, we won't need this line item. But we don't know that at this,
No, we won't. We will just end up, it'll be, well,
we'll make less in real estate taxes
we'll
or
make
property
less in real
taxes.
estate taxes, yes. Yeah, we will.
So
So we won't need
maybe
this
we
line.
keep it in there and use it to offset what we might lose in income.
Well, it might be helpful as for accountability,
Mhm.
because you're not necessarily going to see it as obvious unless we create a line item on the revenue side of things, reducing the revenue um, by the amount of the rebate as such. But
Right.
if you want, it might be helpful to put a box around this. That way we know we have to come back and talk about it again.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. I put a box around the 911 system because we haven't got anything from QVC yet.
Okay.
Usually we get it by now, so we may have to have Marie give them a call and see what's going on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call John Don and find out what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Usually we get a letter. Let me see. Volunteer fire insurance, that's an estimate of 7% based on what HD Seeker are telling us.
Mhm.
I just put in the regular OSHA. We've been budgeting 20 grand each year for the last few years. I'm not even sure where they are at the moment. Let's have a look and see. We're only at 7,000, so we'll see what it's like at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
but that runs in spurts because they do
Yeah.
the hoses at one certain time, they do the ladders at another certain time. And that's when the bills come in. It's all a year apart on certain items.
Sure.
anybody, so we volunteer fire insurance,
That's the name
Is-
of the company.
so we're insuring the firefighters themselves
We're
That's
insuring
the
their
building, the equipment.
for
vehicle.
all 5 departments we're insuring
Yep.
on top of what we give them as a line item.
Yes, and also covering their workers' comp, which is part of the
Workers' comp on
line.
another line? That's
Yes,
on
on a
another line,
separate
that's
line.
in fringe?
It is. And it's broken down in fringe.
It is broken down in French, okay.
Yep.
Refresh my memory. What is the special services, the software, other consulting?
So it's the reporting software that between John Sharp and Jamie they manage. They switched to a cloud-based system about a year or so ago, and the system that they're using enables them to report to the state on a monthly basis whatever the stats are required. And I guess they use it for other specific things. I remember him giving us some information about it last year or the year before, but this particular software is a lot better than the one we used to use, right? Ken, is
It's
that
more
correct?
user friendly. We used to have Firehouse software when it first came out many years ago. And there was a reporting element that wasn't allowing it to go to the state. The software does their inventory, their truck maintenance, their personnel, expirations on certifications. It's a nice complete package. That
How did the
does.
town end up paying for that? Is that a mandate?
You know, the town picked it up. It was a long time ago. And I think part of it was put in because of the fact that the fire marshal uses it as well.
So just the fire marshal and community fire department use it?
No, all 5 departments.
All five, okay.
Yep. So they put in all of their incidences into the thing.
And it collects all the data?
Yep.
Gotcha. And we pick up all the immunizations and the physicals. I wonder how that came about.
Don't know.
Don't know. Just curious.
I think some of that had to do with the OSHA requirements way back.
Okay. I'm good with this.
I mean, we've been doing it for many years.
I'm good with that.
For now. I might want to come back.
Next one is emergency management.
That was a flat budget.
Yep.
Okay, the next one is, it's veterans. No, security. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with this, Amy, so I just put in the 60 grand from prior year. I don't know.
I believe 60 is, how are they looking in that account? I mean, obviously it's been a weird year, but
Yeah. Let me just bring it up here. We're at 49,385 out of the 60 grand. Last year we spent 41,706.
right.
So with everything on lockdown, what are they using security for? Anyone know?
The security is actually, I just talked to Ben today. They actually, they're there during the day. Just being a presence.
During the school year when they're in school. Right?
Yeah,
Well,
they're in
What did they
school.
do last year when, in March, when they shut down?
I have no idea. Were they helping with distribution of
They were.
equipment, maybe?
They did the distribution of the food. When things were locked down, they helped with the summer program too.
Okay.
I just thought that line would go down when the kids weren't in school or there weren't any activities. So I was surprised. I thought you were going to say they only spent like 20,000 out of that line.
We did
Or
utilize
30.
them here in July during tax season. They greeted people, made sure people wore masks into the building. They give you, Orla, they send you a statement.
Yeah, Bob sends me a bill at the end of each month.
Does it give a description of the work that they're doing? Okay, so maybe we
At
can.
least I think it does. It gives me a breakdown of who
No.
we're paying,
It's
Right.
fine.
hours.
But I know Ben did tell me today that they've been using them during the day at the school.
Sure.
And that's fine. I just thought it would have been reduced. But moving forward, hopefully things are opening up and the schools will stay in session. And I just thought it would be reduced. What they had used this year would have been reduced.
I mean, I think the
Correct.
biggest thing is I think my personal feeling, and I can't say for sure because I'd have to ask Bob, but it seems like they're just billing through this because I don't know. This is my assumption because their budget is so tight. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
They have,
Feels like they're trying to use this because it's for the security staff. They're trying to use it up in order to save money other places potentially. I don't know this for a fact. It just seems like that's a possibility, but I could be wrong.
Well, they did pick up Ben. They take care of Ben.
Right.
The school does.
And this is for the, I know that they have a gentleman, one of the safety staff people who directs traffic in the morning. And I believe they have someone so he's at the bottom near the Dunkin' Donuts and there's someone at the hill that's there every morning to get things started. Ben oversees all of them.
Yep.
There isn't a presence within the school during the day now versus just during evening activities.
And this is a program that's still in its infancy. You know, they're still trying to figure out everything that they need to do and cover accordingly.
Right.
So I just checked the most recent bill I got from Bob, and it doesn't actually break down the specific duties. It just breaks down the specific people, and
I mean, it's money that's been allocated for security staff, and my feeling is use it. That-
I'm sure if you ask Ben, he'll give you a,
Right.
a summary of, what his people have done.
It would be nice if he was presenting that budget.
Ah. We could ask him to zoom in on Thursday.
Yeah, let's have him present it so he can give us, that way we have firsthand knowledge
Okay.
of what his guys are doing, what he's doing, how this is,
Guys-
but how they've been impacted.
Okay. I'll contact him and see if he can zoom in.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Next one is animal control. And one of the things I had told you guys I would get you is an update on how much money was spent on the revamping. The appropriation was 10 grand. So I have another document, which is a little bit out of date, but I'm going to plug in some numbers so I can show it to you guys. Okay. No, maybe not. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, what do you guys see?
It looks like all of the bills.
Okay, great. So this was in October. So the total down here is 5443. So I ran the numbers today, and as of today, the total that has been spent is 8,900. And that includes bills through the 18th of February.
So the pocket electric bill that's listed there?
Yep.
Wasn't that actually Trudeau Electric, or does it not matter?
I'm just looking up and see. Yeah, I see. I haven't updated the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yes, it was Trudeau. Yep, it was. So that can change. I'll end up replacing it anyway. But oh no, maybe we spent that money on something to do with Packard. Yeah, that was a Packard electric bill, but the additional work that was done was
Okay.
through.
Oh, that was afterwards? Was that into
Yes.
November?
That was 1690. So
Okay.
what came after these charges was the Duke Yardman landscaping, the Trudeau Electric, Liberty Glass.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, I'll update this spreadsheet and send it to you guys before Thursday, okay?
Okay.
But I'm just looking here on what was, as I say, I ran this today, so at least I could get an idea of what was genuine and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, you know what, I can see there's two different line items. I'm just going to come back to you guys on Thursday. Update the spreadsheet. And what we've been doing with regards to operational expenses for the pound, because it's not included here, is we will request what we're going to need to cover the operation of the pound for fiscal year 21 from the Board of Selectmen. Well, I'll come back to you guys first and ask for your recommendation. At that stage, we can decide whether we're going to transfer some funds out of the dog fund to cover that, or whether we're going to ask for budget transfers from the Board of Finance at the end of the year. Because I can tell you, the money that we have in there it's definitely not going to cover. The budget includes 24,000, and payroll already we're up to almost 14.
Can you go back to the budget?
Other one, yeah.
And also, there's can you get a balance on the dog fund, or did you?
Well, that's what I was showing you there. I don't have the specifics of the dog fund on the balance, but if we started the year at 70,000 approximately, it looks like we're down about 7.
So can you get an actual balance on it?
Yeah.
And then,
Hang on a second. Let me just run it now. Bear with me a second. We're at 56,950.
Okay, can we get it sorted out? 56 what?
56950.
Then can we get can you take out all the donations that went into that from when it was created? Is that an impossible task, to be honest?
I'll go back and see how many years records I have.
Yeah,
Take a look.
and see what that, and maybe we've already spent that part of it, but as I said originally, I'd like to have a separate line, an account for donations only.
Yeah, well, pretty much the two revenue lines coming into the dog fund. One is dog licenses, the town's share, and the other is donations. There's really not any other revenue coming in. And, as we know.
Dog licenses and fines, and there's certain things like that. That I think because the state kind of oversees how that's supposed to be spent.
Yep.
But the donations are a separate thing, and I think that should be at the ACO's discretion. I think she should have access to that.
Yeah, I just want to check and see.
And
how
I
far-
think that the state is kind of specific about the fines, the fees, and all of that.
Okay, I can go back as far as 2010.
Oh,
So
Excellent.
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, there's enough data in here going back as far as 2010.
So do you want
that's
to
helpful.
sort it out for the next meeting?
Yeah, I'll do it for
And
Thursday.
then, yeah, and then we can have a clearer picture.
Yeah, good idea. Okay. 56,950. Okay, any other questions on the
You have
dog?
Porto John, $80 a month.
Mhm.
That's what's being requested.
That is what we're paying currently right now. There was no bathroom facilities at the pound.
Where did we get,
What do you mean?
where did we get it from?
Where we
So
get the other
local,
ones,
yeah, the local company.
yeah,
Town, I can't remember what they're called.
Ducap.
Okay, it did come from Waldo. I didn't know if Waldo would have cut us a deal on the Porto John at the ACO, at the dog pound.
I think he did. He
I mean,
cut us
is that a
with
deal?
this rate.
I don't know what portable potties cost.
I mean, to me, $80 is pretty,
That's a month.
yeah, that's per month.
That's cheap.
That's cheap, okay.
Yeah, I think it was cheap. He cut us a deal because we explained the level of usage. It wasn't going to be in a public environment. It was going to be in a facility that somebody was working in, but there was no bathroom facilities. So, yeah, I remember him cutting us a deal.
Okay, that is a deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and I certainly think she deserves a toilet up there.
Yeah.
Well, it was either that or she'd have to go to the transfer station.
Transfer station, and yeah.
I mean, they also supply for recreation and the transfer station.
And trails. And
Okay, no, I just saw that as you were getting ready to go down to the next
Okay.
page, and I just wondered where that came from. And
Yep.
Orla,
Yep.
can I ask another favor?
Sure.
When we look at actuals, that 25, 14, 15, 20, I mean, for the 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, was that all through NECOG?
It was for the 1920 year, absolutely. Yes, it was all through NECOG. And 1819, I think it was from beginning of August onwards. So it was 11 months of the year was NECOG.
What, do you know what the budget was prior to us just using NECOG?
Yeah, I'll get it for you. Bear with me.
What we were spending a year?
I can tell you what the actuals were. Just bear with me a sec. Okay, so here I have enough data going back to 13, 14, which was the first full year.
Of using NECOG?
No, Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want budget using NECOG or not using NECOG?
Not using NECOG.
Okay, so if you go by what I see here on the screen, which is 13, 14 is the earliest year I have in front of me here, which was the first full year, because 14, 15,
Not using NECOG,
yeah, all in-house. This is all in-house.
all in-house, okay.
Yeah, and it was 27,000. So if you, main difference really is going to be this, um, based on the person we have in the position now versus back then. But the operating expenses are different now because there's a bigger vet services bill now than there had been in the past. I'm just looking at the different changes here. There's an increase in there was no there was only a landline phone, there was no internet or Wi-Fi or security cameras. Now we have that facility there at the pound, so there's an additional $1,000 that we didn't have before. There's also an additional training dollars in there that hadn't been before. I know in the past, previous ACO had gone on just on one annual trip, but I know Jan is very interested in doing additional training that um, and certifications besides of what we've done before. I see this.
Would you be able to send me the budget with, looking just like this,
Yeah,
with the 13, 14 straight through?
sure. In fact, I can go back to one of the older budgets if it helps, Suzanne, and I can go 13, 14 back even further. I just don't have it on this one particular document.
Because, I mean, it hasn't increased that much
No,
in the sense, it really hasn't increased a lot.
no, oh gosh, I would agree with you. It hasn't. There's just a couple
But
of
the
those
level of
specific
service that
points.
we are getting right now is so much more.
Maintenance, there wasn't a lot of maintenance and repairs in 13, 14, but I know there will be. And I know that when Jana was in, she went through the details of the specific projects that she's
Right.
looking to have to do, you know. So, but besides, I mean, there really isn't. The operational stuff is pretty much the same.
Yeah, very close. Okay.
And she got
Suzanne,
her
if you have
cameras
to,
working again, by the way. Her Wi-Fi cameras are working again.
Good.
Okay.
What was that, Ken?
I was gonna say, if you have any of the budget books from the last
Oh, I
two
do,
or
yeah.
two
I
or
do.
3 years, these numbers are in that.
I do. I have all my budgets from the board, when I was on the Board of Finance.
Yeah.
It's just, I'd have to dig them out and go through them.
Okay.
So hang on a
And
second.
Orla
let-
had it right there.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying is if you needed a hard copy quick, because Mike always put it down for, I think it was 3 years and then the
Oh,
current
that's
year.
true. My last one would probably, my first year on the Board of Finance would go back to 3 years prior, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pull up budget 15 because that would have a lot of historical data in it. Let me share it with you guys and then I'll find what I'm looking for. I mean, I have to say, Mike created this this project. It must have taken him so long because honestly, it's such a complex document, but good for him for creating it because I don't know what was used before that, but this was a huge thing for him to do. Okay, let me just, okay, so this is the animal control and we've got some little bit of historical data going back there. You got 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, and then 13, 14, but pretty much she was on target with their budget. So you can see there really wasn't a lot of change in any of the years. And based on what we see going forward to fiscal 2022, there's only those couple of different pockets. Besides that, it's pretty much the same. I noticed that she didn't spend any money on chemicals in those earlier 2 years, but she budgeted to spend it. So that might have been an expense that started incurring after a certain amount of time. I don't know. Because I know that Jan does have to buy chemicals and she shops around for her chemicals.
Yep.
She finds the best deals that she can find. Um, she put a lot of money in for vet bills. In here, it looks like in 11, 12, we spent almost 1,500, but only 400 and change in 12, 13. I think in 13, 14, it was up about 1,500 again. And what Jan is proposing is 2,500.
What was the ENB again? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the some sort of it's euthanasia and
Oh,
something.
Yeah.
something. But we changed the
But-
name to vet services.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is why I would like for her to have a discretionary account, because if she's at the vets and needs to make a decision, she needs to know that she has the donations to fall back on if it's not in her budget. I don't want her to have to go to the Board of Selectmen to request money for a vet bill. When she's dealing with something out in the field, she needs to be able to know that she can make those decisions herself.
I think that's a really good idea. I think that's a great idea. I know we were only talking about that last week, that she would love to have some of the donations earmarked towards veterinary bills, because it is a challenge. And she's on one or two occasions she's given me a call to say, listen, what should I do? And my answer is always, go do what you think is best.
And it has to be her, like, she's the expert here. She's the one that knows what is reasonable, what is not reasonable, so having that donation done totally separate in a separate account, to me, makes sense, because people have donated it for this reason, I'm assuming. And if she sees something that she needs to have at the dog pound, she doesn't always have to request it from the dog pound account.
Mhm.
Of course, she'll have to be accountable for it and submit it, paperwork on it, but it gives her a little more flexibility, I think. Thoughts? Ken, Amy?
No, I totally agree. I've said it before, the donations that come in. I mean, even some donations are possibly earmarked.
Right.
Some people might give a donation, say, I'd like you to use it for X. And we certainly want her to be able to grant the wishes of the people that made the donations. We did give her a check today. I don't know if she got it to you, Orla, on the GoFundMe that we had
Oh,
done,
awesome. Yay.
$1,800. So
Fantastic. That's really great.
after GoFundMe took out their fees, that's what we walked.
Okay. Hey, $1,800 is fantastic.
Yep.
That's really
And I
great.
proposed with her, I said, we do that a couple times a year.
I was gonna say, I would like to see us do some more, when COVID is over, do some more events of fundraising.
And we probably have 5 people at least lined up that want to come in and help with a cleanup in the spring.
Yep.
So,
Hang on just one second, guys. Okay.
and I know we talked about the roof potentially needing to be replaced, but the truth is potentially could get that donated.
And that's my thought, is if when we need something there, we do a campaign.
Exactly, a campaign for some of the major renovations to
And I
keep,
think Ken said, and I think we all agreed it could be done maybe more cost effectively.
right. So,
Yeah, we want her to be able to operate without having to look over her shoulder, when she needs appropriate funding.
well, she does have a cat in there now. We were talking about it today. And she had gotten medicine for the cat, but it doesn't seem to be helping, but the cat's coming around and me being a vet like I am, I told her, I said, well, maybe he's turning around. Maybe his health is getting better because he's being nourished and he has food, water, and warmth. It's maybe his body will heal on its own. And she says, I'm kind of thinking that it might, because the medicine she was given wasn't doing anything for it. But so she's just gonna wait and see. Because
Animals can be very resilient.
once the cat is healthy, she can actually find a home for it.
That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but people losing a dog and having somebody to call, or a cat, but I just think that she's already dealt with so much.
Right. Yep.
I'm happy with the way the program is working, and I think it's something that people can see their tax money right at work. Like that's a good way for them to be able to see how it's being spent, I think,
Right.
a positive way.
Yep. People love dogs.
I'm a dog person. I could live without cats, but I have 2 of them, but
That's because they're too independent for you.
My Simon, Suzanne, is definitely going downhill.
oh,
When did this guy-
Amy and I had adopted Shih Tzus out of the same litter.
Yeah.
So we had
Yeah,
siblings.
the same summer, because the
Same.
farmers lived right next to you guys.
Yep. Yep. We took Lily and you took Simon and
Teddy, which was actually Alvin. We changed,
El, yeah.
so. But nope, I sleep with Simon next to him at night, every night. Because he gets up 3 or 4 times a night. It's like a baby, so. I hear every little thing, every little sound he makes. I'm awake checking on him. So.
Lily snored. I couldn't have her in my room.
He stopped snoring. That's why I know he sleeps super soundly. He used to snore all the time. And he's in his last stages.
Yeah.
This point, it's only a matter of time. If he makes it another month or 2, I'll be surprised, but he probably will.
How old is he now?
He's gonna be 15.
15.
Yeah. And he's eating.
Oh, that's good.
That's it. He eats, he sleeps. As soon as he gets up, he has to go outside because that's all he's gonna do is go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Anyways. Well, how much further do we want to get, guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how late do we want to work on this?
I
Because
mean, I know Orla had someplace to be.
I'm at my office. I haven't left work yet.
And I mean, we're moving right along. The next thing in order is Public Works. I think
Why
that's,
don't we begin that tomorrow, on Thursday?
I'm kind of thinking that too.
I think that would be a good idea too. That's the next page.
Yes.
That
And then-
works for me.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda, but tomorrow night we're at 7 o'clock in the auditorium.
Yes. Frank will be there.
Frank is the moderator. Okay.
Well, yeah, if he gets nominated for it.
And there's no reason why he won't.
Right.
He
I
does
don't
a
want to
great
do
job.
it.
Frank does a great job.
Yes, he does. Yeah. So I've sent over the link to the IT department. I've sent over the questions that will be asked for the polling. Yeah, I think we're good to go. And then copies for everybody who does show up. And I'm also planning on sending the copies for it to be brought up on the screen in the Zoom meeting of the various ordinances, et cetera. So,
Be the first meeting face to face in a while.
yeah.
Not that I mind the Zoom.
I like the Zoom,
It has its benefits at times.
especially in the winter when it's icy or snowy, you can, as long as it's not a blizzard, that you can have a meeting.
Right. No cancellation, no excuses.
And the older people don't have to worry about going out in it.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about going out in it because I'm an older person.
Do we have a public hearing dates that, is it March?
4th
Is it 4th or 6th? I can't remember.
for the budget.
Budget.
Yeah, Karen was just working on that with Dottie. It's supposed to be a week from Thursday. So, I mean, what were your thoughts, guys? I know you weren't sure about Saturday. And it's up to you. If we don't do Saturday, we probably have to do Monday and Tuesday, or at least Monday. Maybe Monday, Wednesday to finish things off.
So we have a Board of Selectmen meeting next week on Tuesday.
Right.
Yes, we do.
And you said March 4th
It's that Thursday, so it's a week from this
is
Thursday.
the budget presentation?
Yeah.
And which works for me. So Ken, what are your thoughts on Saturday?
Right now, I'm free, so hopefully we can get to an awful lot on Thursday.
What time do you want to meet on Saturday?
I had thought 11 or later.
Hi,
Let-
it's Orla. I'm back again. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Hopefully we can wrap it up in a couple hours maximum.
Right.
I
Where
mean,
were
I
you
would be
guys?
agreeable to even doing like 10.
I can't be there in time for 10.
Okay,
Did we move on to Rich's budgets or no?
we're gonna wait
No.
and do that.
We're gonna
Okay.
start on Thursday. We were talking about Saturday, Orla.
Yep.
Are you still
I'm
free on Saturday?
flexible. Yeah, I have nothing planned for Saturday.
Yeah, 11 works for me.
11,
Yeah.
Does that
we
work?
can make it work.
Let's try to wrap it up. Oh, my battery's running low.
All right, and we have Thursday, we're meeting at 5.
Thursday,
Um,
5 p.m. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I've NDDH. yeah, it'll definitely finish by 4:45, so I'll just swing onto this call afterwards. But can I just run through the things that I have to get to you guys so I don't miss anything? I have to get you the historical data and comparison on the finance directors. Um, I have to add the narrative for Renee's budget documentation. I broke out the telephone and internet, so I think we're good with that. I'll find out additional information on the income for the fire marshal. I'll check with Marie on the 911 QVC. And also, I'm going to update the rebate dollars as is when the time comes. Security, Amy's going to talk to Ben about joining on Thursday. I have for the animal control, I have to update the spreadsheet for the revamping costs. Then I'm going to go to the dog fund and break down each of the revenue between donations and other sources of income that we've received, going back as far as I can, but it looks like I can go back to fiscal 11. And was there anything else?
I think you covered it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't, yes, actually, I had one more question.
Oh,
The
the other
fir-
thing is Verizon. I have to talk with Bob about Verizon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When going back a couple of budgets, but when we talked about to the fire departments, we had asked that they send us a copy of their audits. Do you remember
Last year? Oh, was it this year? Yes.
Their most current audits.
Oh,
If
yeah.
if they, and you were gonna request from them, and I completely forgot to remind you or ask you.
Okay, I'll send
Yeah,
out.
if I remember, some of them say they don't have an audit, but
Yeah.
it is, I'm sure that they have whoever does their taxes. You know, being a 501,
C3s.
whatever, they do have to do a filing.
Well, they may not get an external audit, but I know in the case of Thompson Hill, they do an internal audit, and that is sent with their return. So
Something that we could look at anyway.
Yep. Mhm.
John Sharp had stopped in yesterday, so I'm glad you brought this up, and wanted to let you know that he spoke to their accountant.
Yep.
And they'd be able to provide their tax returns and some type of a financial statement for the department. is
Oh,
what-
okay.
Dokie.
So you got a day's work right there, Orla.
I know. And I'm in meetings tomorrow until noon, but that's
Oh,
okay. It's the last CT chip meeting. Hopefully it's the last one that I'll be joining.
When do they get the bad news?
Well, they'll get it tomorrow. They'll ask the question. Melinda probably already let them know, but
but you know what? They will benefit if they go in a different direction too, won't they?
yeah,
I mean, they were
will.
facing an 18% increase as well,
Well, they're facing an up to 23% without us
without us. But if they
Yep.
are able to dissolve it and go out on their own, they may find it to be financially beneficial.
I think they probably will. I mean, I think the
Hopefully.
goal initially was to get other towns involved,
Right?
but with 2 years of a big increase, you're not going to have anybody interested.
No, nobody's gonna want to jump on board.
Yeah.
No.
So,
All right.
seemed like a good idea at the time, I guess. But it was good. It was beneficial to us in the first year when we
Yes.
were anticipating such a ridiculous increase, And I mean, in reality, the fees that we were paying for CT chip administration were a quarter of what we pay to USI every year. I mean, even in the overall entity, we were only paying less than 10,000 for the overall use and coordination of the whole plan. But
Mhm.
it worked for a while. Now it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
And we will move on.
All right.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Jen made a motion, Suzanne made a second. All in favor of adjournment at 4:54 PM.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
Night.